like that movie life. These are whites only.
You're listening to the Podcast Detroit Network. Visit www.podcastdetroit.com for more information.
Raw and SmackDown Live happened this week, and per Joe, it was like watching a movie where all of the good parts were all you saw in the trailers. We'll get into their ratings. Plus, we're taking the Money in the Bank storyline away from WWE Creative, and we're coming up with our own for certain people, for the men and the women. Plus, the one and only Brandy Lauren from Evolve Wrestling is going to be calling in at 9:30 to talk about Shine 58, Evolve 127, and Evolve 128 going on this weekend. We get into all that and more as we...
Are you ready? I said, are you ready? You just made the list. Oh, I knew he was going to do that. I just knew he was going to do that. He don't need Janetti. You don't know what hard times are, Daddy. Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass. Close to the top, oh yeah. It's the man! What the rock is cooking. For life, good, bad, and good night. They got the answers. I change the questions.
Oh, it's true. It's damn true.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to the most inappropriate pro wrestling show in the motherfucking world. You're listening to Breaking Down the Ring. We are your ring crew.
Z, half pint, bigger, blacker Smitty.
The new effing Joe.
And me, the almighty one, Mikey himself. Let's go ahead and get Joe into the frame real quick. Ah, beautiful. There he is, the beauty himself. So
He's one beautiful Jew.
As we mentioned last week, look,
That's right.
we're not so high up on what Raw and SmackDown have been putting out these last couple weeks. Neither is the rest of the world. Because last week, Raw had its lowest ratings for any non-holiday, non-Monday Night Football competition at all. This week, they did better than last week, but it was still lower than the week before. So it is the second lowest rated Raw with no holiday, no competition from football on Monday night. And they instituted a wild card rule. And Vince McMahon's a genius. I'm a genius. And I'm just, look what I'm doing. I'm wonderful.
The inconsistent
rule. It's going to be 3 people from Raw, 3 people from SmackDown. Well, Raw had fucking 6. Sorry, 5.
Someone from SmackDown could end up on SmackDown.
Yeah. And I'm going to Raw.
Or did you guys like Welcome to Monday Night Yard? Did you hear Cole say
Yeah,
that?
Yep.
I saw that and I heard that and I was like, whatever. But so then WWE, because these rules were fucking...
shotgun as fuck.
No, not just shotgun as fuck, but just they were not explained well. Like, because Vince said in the beginning of the show 3. Well, then you had 3 people in the fucking ring right there.
In the opening segment.
And then Elias showed up and Lars showed up. So
showed
that's
up.
5 people. Like, some people online were going, oh, Shane McMahon. Like, no, he's a McMahon. He runs both shows. He can show up. He's not.
So let's say 5.5.
No, we're going to say 5 because Shane McMahon can show up on any show that he wants because he runs them. The McMahon family runs Raw and SmackDown. It was 5. So WWE.com put out a thing on Tuesday morning saying that Lars Sullivan talked him into a 4th spot, right? It was said it on the WWE.com article. Then I rewent and I read the article again today, and it was edited, and now says limited number of people.
Yeah.
Because they wrote 4 and they forgot Elias showed up. So you could be fined and possibly fired. So WWE most likely came up with this shit Monday.
They shotgun as fuck.
If
No, they did not. They came up with this because Fox wants certain people on SmackDown who are on Raw. That's where, like, they're forcing WWE's hand. And Vince played it off. And this is the only thing I took, I guess, good out of that opening segment and the new rule and all that shit. Is
opening 2 segments.
yeah, whatever. They have finally evolved the Mr. McMahon character to the senile old man. Like, oh, I just came up with this. I'm a genius. Like, I was like, all right, at least he's playing into it now. Like, he's taking all this stuff that people are writing on the internet and being like, oh, I made up this rule. I'm a genius. And like, if you noticed, he was doing it all night. He was like, he was on the phone. He's like, yeah, I know, I'm a genius. Like, so I think I'm hoping this is like storyline and it's going to lead to like an eventual power shift. Or, I mean, for all I know, it could be really what Vince thinks. But Fox is actually forcing WWE to put certain superstars. That's where this rule came from. I read an article about it earlier today while I was on lunch.
See, I don't agree with that article. I agree that Fox wants people on SmackDown, and I think that the rule, like, eventually they probably were going to get there. You know, I mean, like, I understand it's a superstar shakeup. Maybe they would have done trades or something like that. But at the current moment, their ratings are shit. So we need to do something that make these ratings better, faster. That's where I think the draft, the wild card came from.
Who had a hot reaction during WrestleMania? And just put them on both shows for right now.
And I'll be very honest, as fucking weird as this came off across, it gave 2 of the best wrestling main events that we have seen on either
Raw and
WWE
SmackDown,
programming
yeah.
in a long time, and both of which featured a championship that we have said WWE is not showing a lot of love to, and that's the WWE Championship. Kofi versus Daniel Bryan on Raw is a main event. Kofi versus Sami Zayn and AJ Styles on SmackDown Live.
Fucking phenomenal. No pun
But
intended.
do you think, now, both great matches, absolutely. Like, that was the best part of both shows, hands down. Do you think the reason they're making Kofi defend the title this much is because they're going to have him drop it to Goldberg for the whole Saudi thing?
I think the reason that might happen in the future, but I think the reason that Kofi's defending so much in the final hour of both of these shows is because they're losing viewers at the final hour,
Right.
and they're putting the most popular, most over, regardless of who it is. If it was Roman versus Drew would have been the main event.
I don't think
of Raw.
Roman wasn't even on SmackDown, was
Daniel
he?
Bryan made sense because, I mean, you got to close out that storyline, and he had that undisclosed injury, and he finally got cleared. So you have him come back. You have the rematch that they don't give rematches for.
No, I'm not arguing the match. I'm saying Kofi versus Daniel Bryan if Roman was the most over superstar right now, Roman versus Drew would have closed out Raw.
Yes.
It wouldn't have been Kofi.
Correct.
And so I'm not even saying that while it happens to help the championship, I'm saying right now their WWE title is on the most over character on any fucking show. Right?
Yeah.
So that's why he was in the that those were the main events, because that belt, regardless of who was holding it, well, that belt is not what's important. It's Kofi that's important. And they are showcasing Kofi because they want the ratings to stop dropping from such a large amount from the first hour to the final hour. People are coming in and watching that first hour, and then they leave the second hour, and they're really gone the third hour.
Yeah, people probably go to bed after the third hour.
Before.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying, like, if Raw's boring, I fall asleep during
Yeah.
it. In fact, it helps me sleep.
It's great ASRM, whatever it is.
With that wild card rule, the only thing I didn't like a couple things about it, but the one thing I really didn't like was on SmackDown when Shane McMahon was just going to hand the titles over, and then the Usos come out and like, oh, we want to challenge for it. Well, you already know the Usos are going to lose because they're on Raw.
You know, when I was watching it, I was like, I'm pretty sure the Usos going to lose, but at the same time, because of this wild card rule, it's very possible they could win. because they could then go back to SmackDown and then still show up on Raw, still do things on Raw. The Revival could then have come to SmackDown to fuck with them because of the wild card rule. So that wild card rule kind of takes out the absolute of what team is what person would win or lose.
But also, the one thing with the Superstar Shakeup, I agree with the wild card rule for that reason, because the SmackDown Tag Team division pretty much got raped during the Superstar Shakeup. What teams do they really have over there besides Heavy Machinery now?
Well, they just created a new team in Daniel Bryan and Rowan.
Yeah, but they were already together, but prior to classifying them as a tag team.
Heavy Machinery. I believe the B team is on SmackDown.
The B team, yeah.
They broke the bar up.
They broke the bar up.
Yeah,
The
which
Usos
is fine as long as they give Cesaro a single.
Say
run out of
they
that,
broke up. Like Sanity's pretty much done because Alexander Wilson at NXT UK.
Not pretty much, they're done.
Yeah, they're done.
And
So
Killian Dane went back to NXT.
Killian Dane went back to NXT, and Eric Young went to Raw.
Yep.
Who besides those two teams?
I'm thinking, well, the Hardys, but Jeff is hurt.
Right, and that's why the Hardys had it, was because they were going to be the team to run with it. On the wrong fucking...
Yep, the Superstar Shakeup raped the tag team division and SmackDown.
Someone says on our Periscope broadcast, which everybody, if you're listening live on the Podcast Detroit app and you want to see us, you can go to Periscope app or on our Twitter at BDRcast, and you can follow us there, and you can watch the show live and obviously interact with us as well there. They said the tag titles need to be unified, and we've kind of talked about that. I'm all right with that.
Yeah, the tag teams and the women's titles, unify them.
Well,
so
and for the wild card rule, they should have just made it the champions can go to each brand instead of like
Left it at that.
Yeah, instead of like 3 and now 4 and now 5, now a limited number.
Because I watched like a condensed Hulu version. Did Roman even show up on SmackDown this week?
Roman?
No.
Exactly. It was like, so,
But that's crazy.
That's what another thing is. I think the wild card rule was another way to keep Roman on your flagship show. Keep Vince's pet project on the flagship show.
Man,
and that's what was I didn't want to say this until I confirmed the fact that Roman was not on Raw.
Yeah, but but I'm gonna tell you this right now. If you're arguing that it's Vince's pet project, then Vince's pet project is gonna be on both fucking shows. You know who was on both fucking shows? AJ Styles,
and so was Kofi.
I understand, but I'm talking about like if you want.
But AJ's over too.
Yeah, but so is Roman, dude. I'm sorry, he's starting to get the booze back, but he's still fucking over most likely. I think it's dumb, but at the same time, Roman wasn't on SmackDown.
Who this?
You know who this is. Brandy. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome the one, the only, Evolve Wrestling's own Brandy Lauren. Brandy, how are you, love?
I am doing great. How are you guys doing?
Well, I showered today, so I'm good. I can't speak for the rest of the guys in this studio because I mean, I see you guys got some s'mores cupcakes over there, so I'd be doing pretty good if I was over there. Well, I guess one was touched.
Yep, destroyed it.
6 of them, 5 of us. One of us is going to get 2, and it's probably going to be Smitty.
Black privilege.
So, Brandy, there's things that are kind of blowing my mind right now about you. One, you're pretty new to Evolve Wrestling, aren't you?
You know, I am new to Evolve Wrestling. However, I have been with WWN since my first year, before even my first year of wrestling. I used to go to all the shows when I was training and everything. I would go to Shine shows because they were right around the corner from me. And actually, my very first show ever was for WWN. It was for ACW. Oh. So as far as WWN as a whole, they've been there for me since the very beginning. But I have just now started wrestling for the Evolve shows, which has been absolutely amazing because it's such a huge platform, you know?
And what's really great about this is you're currently the only person scheduled to be on every show this weekend that WWN's putting on. Shine 58 in Livonia, which is then followed by Evolve 127. And then in Indianapolis for Evolve 128. You're the only person, period, not just anyone, just
men or women,
that is going to be on all 3 shows. How does that make you feel about that?
Doing work.
You know, it's going to be an absolutely crazy and busy weekend, but I am like super excited. This morning I was just so hyped. You know, I was in the car and I was talking and to my mom and everything like that. I'm like, man, this weekend's so exciting. I'm getting to do what I love, and Evolve is such a huge platform for me. You know, I've even got to wrestle like a girl from NXT, and just there's been so many amazing opportunities that they've been giving me, and just being able to put me out there and having me on every single show, like, it's absolutely crazy, and that they value me that much.
Obviously, you're a huge commodity for them, like you said. Otherwise,
get that work.
That's why they have you on all 3. And you mentioned the NXT. You faced Lacey Lane from NXT. You went over, and as a matter of fact, you're undefeated currently, if I'm not mistaken.
I am undefeated in Evolve currently. I've been quite the winning streak at Shine as well. So.
So when do we get to call you Brandy Two Belts?
Is that a good question?
it would go over. I hear all of a sudden the word belt is allowed in any type of wrestling now. It doesn't matter where you work, you can say belt and you won't get canned for it.
What a breakthrough.
Right?
Yeah, I'm still waiting for a shot at one of those belts over there at Shine. You know, there's quite a few over there that look nice and pretty to me.
I think, what is it? 4 belts at Shine?
There is the Nova Championship, the Shine Championship, and the Tag Team Championships now.
So 4 technical belts, but 3 titles.
Yeah.
All right, so we're shooting for Brandy 3 belts.
Brandy 3 belts. She can run a gauntlet, man. 1 around the waist, 1 on each shoulder. Sounds like a plan.
Here we go.
Hey, I can carry them.
Ultimo Brandy.
Yeah, that's
Brandy. So, Brandy, let's talk a little bit about your career. You said that you had started your first wrestling was with WWN, but how long have you been in the business? Who trained you? And who trained you? Sorry.
So I started training about 5 years ago, and before that, I didn't really watch wrestling much. I didn't know much about wrestling, and I went to New York. I'm from Buffalo, actually. I went to go visit my family up there, and my cousin was like, hey, you got to come to this show with us. And it was like a local indie show, because I had seen some stuff on TV, but I never really watched wrestling. And, I was like, I don't know, that doesn't seem like something I'd be interested in. And she's like, just trust me, just come with us. You'll have so much fun. So we went to this local show up in Buffalo. I can't even remember the name of it. But we went to 2 shows that weekend. One was that show, and then the other one was Empire State Wrestling. And those were my first 2 shows ever, and I fell in love with wrestling from there on. So as soon as I got home, I started searching up schools in Tampa, and I found a school in Clearwater. At the time, it was called, like, Uproar Pro Wrestling or something like that, where Jay Lethal was the head trainer. So I started training with him. I went there right away. As soon as I got home, I started training. And, like, I kid you not, I am so glad that I had gone to that show on that day, because I never would have realized how much, like, I actually loved wrestling. So I was training with him for about a year, and then I had my first match with WWN. I was training a little bit with another female wrestler who had wrestled for Shine. Her name is Radiant Rain, and she had contacted some people for me and said that, like, I was ready for my first show, and if they needed someone that I could be there and everything. So they ended up putting me on that first ACW show for my first match, and it's crazy because now almost, like, I'm at all the WWN shows now. I'm always at Shine. I'm on every single Shine show now, and it feels really good too, because I worked so hard in the beginning. Like, every single time I was there putting the ring up, tearing it down. I remember one time just being one of like 3 or 4 people that showed up to put the ring up and tear it down. And now, I'm being able to be on the show with all these amazing, amazing, talented women. It's honestly absolutely incredible. And going to all these shows, they're always like probably my most favorite days, because I just feel like I'm at home. Everyone's just like amazing. And, it's made me so happy and made me, really appreciate like just wrestling even more,
Right,
So it's been
and
good.
we've had quite a few friends of ours, personal friends of ours, that have gone to an NXT show. NXT shows and they had never watched wrestling before, and just like women, of course, and then they watch and they absolutely fall in love with it. And so it's
great.
It's a wonderful experience. And I was watching this interview with Rhino the other day, and he was like, it's always a talking point. You can always, you can always find someone that knows something about wrestling, whether it be past, current, or even thoughts of the future and things like that. And there's, no matter what situation you're in, a conversation about wrestling can be the ice breaking factor to then lead to things that are even better. And like you said, you went to a show, and all of a sudden now you are the queen of Club WWN.
Damn right she
That's
is.
what I like to say.
Oh, trust me, we do a little bit of research here. We don't just pull the people on here. We have to know who we're talking to. Now, obviously, you've had some experience in other companies as well, and that only makes you a better all-around performer, a better person on the microphone. So we want to know, get maybe some inside information here. What exactly is your motivation in WWN and Shine and Evolve? Like, you're obviously undefeated. You're calling yourself the queen of Club WWN. But what's the motivation to take that and be possibly Bandy three belts, Ultimo Brandy?
Ultimo Brandy has a better ring to it.
To run it. What is the motivation behind this? Obviously, we know what got you into it. Now, what's motivating you to be the top performer in your field?
I just want to be the best wrestler that I can be. And honestly, like, just being able to get myself out there and like be able to reach myself to more fans that have ever seen me or even may know me. Because when I just started, like, the only people that knew me were the 3 promotions that I continuously, wrestled at, until I started reaching out a little bit more, which Shine helped me get so many different bookings on other shows as well, because it's such a huge platform. And that's really like my main goal is, like, I just want everybody to be able to, see my wrestling, and like, cause that's just, I don't know, man, I love wrestling so much, and just to be able to share that with everybody, that is really what it's super awesome. Even people that, like, they know me from somewhere and they watch my match, they'll be like, hey, I see that you're sometimes wrestling in Florida. Like, tell me when your next match is, and I'm going to come. And they come, and then they're like, you know what? That was actually really cool. I know a few people actually that now started going to the shows more often, just from, me telling them about wrestling. And, that's really cool, is just being able to share what you love, and like being able to share that with other people too, so that they can see something that they might not have seen before,
Right. And yeah, I totally see that. And when your love of wrestling shows from inside of the ring, it definitely affects anyone who's brand new to the product, walking into their first show ever, to even the most storied, sometimes jaded wrestling fan. They'll see that the person putting on a show in there is busting their ass. Whether there's possible mistakes, whether it's the most flawless match ever, if someone puts the effort into it, it is noted. And obviously you just gain more respect in that community from the boys, aka the men and the women in the back, and the people in the audience, no matter where they're sitting, from the high rises and the nosebleeds to right up front at the ring. I have to ask you, with 3 events going on this weekend, 2 of which are in one day in the Livonia, Michigan, the next one, Evolve 128 in Indianapolis, Indiana. Because you're not scheduled, you're scheduled to be performing at Evolve 127, but nobody knows exactly what you're doing. Can you give us any insight into that yet?
The only thing that I know right now is that on May 10th, for Shine, that I will be wrestling Thunder Kitty, which is going to be absolutely amazing. it's going to be definitely a fun one. I really don't know how old Thunder Kitty is, but she has to be at least 90. Because when I went to these shows, I mean, when I first started going to all these Shrine shows and stuff, I saw her coming out, and I mean, man, she's something else. She's something else. I'm actually really excited for this weekend just based off of this match. But as for Evolve, I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to be doing, but you better bet that I'm going to be making an impact while I am there.
Go ahead, Z.
All right, so I have a question. Throughout the indie scene, the performers like to pull ribs on each other while traveling on the road. So I was wondering, A, what is the best rib you've ever pulled on somebody? And B, what is the best rib that's ever been pulled on you?
Oh, see, that's a good question. But the funny thing is most of the time I actually travel with my mom to a lot of shows.
So you rib your mom?
Yes, everyone laughs at this because they're like, oh, like I got this road buddy or that road buddy. My road buddy is my mom.
That's awesome, though.
Yeah, and every so often, when my boyfriend's in town, he'll come to the shows with me too. But 9 times out of 10, it's my mom. So I mean, for her, she loves it because she gets to see me, wrestling and everything like that. But I try not to prank her or do anything like that to her because most of the time she's driving and she lets me sleep on the way home. So I don't want to prank her, then her get mad and tell me to drive.
So you're
tell me to stay awake.
You're making that 18, 19-hour drive, huh? For the shows up to here.
Actually, I fly in for those ones.
Oh, okay.
The most I usually drive is around to like Georgia and I'm going to be making my debut in Georgia, so I'll be going there. And she drove me to Miami, which is like a 5.5-hour drive from here. Yeah, so she doesn't drive like anywhere like insane, but I mean a good 5 hours there, 5 hours back. That's a lot for her since she's not used to any of that either. So
I lived down there in the area for about 6 years. I not grew up, but I lived in Port Richey. So I'm
okay.
Yeah, so it's basically like I went down to Clearwater Beach myself. Had quite a few wrestling matches on there where people got a lot of photos of me getting suplexed a lot.
How long ago was that you lived here?
Oh, that was many a years ago. That was
many moons.
Yeah, like that was. It was like 13 years ago. It was like 2005, 2006.
The real question is, why did you go back up there? I hate snow. I hate that weather. It's god awful.
Fuck you too.
I'm a firm believer that in a Michigan winter, I can put on enough layers to stay warm. In a Florida summer, I can't get naked enough to stay cool without blowing so much money on an air conditioning bill.
Well, you can, but nobody wants to see that.
Nobody wants to
that
see
or
that.
I'll go to jail. I'll be the next Florida man you hear about in the newspaper.
My house is always at like 60 degrees. So.
Yeah. Plus, you probably have a fan on at night, as anybody should.
Oh, of course. Of course. You got to have a fan on at night.
People that sleep without a fan on. Yeah, they're fucking psychos. We don't want to talk to them. We don't want to know them. They're all fucking weird people, and like just can't even deal with
them. A lot of us are fucking fat up here anyway, so we like to eat and keep warm up there. So.
They call me Brian Two Fans.
I sleep stark naked, so
gross. No, that's you.
That's our show for the week.
How many people just tuned out during that?
No cupcakes for you.
Yeah, you obviously don't need any.
No cupcake for you.
So, Miss Brandy, I have to. What is your? We have talked about obviously some of your past, your introduction into the business. What motivates you for the future? What is your ultimate goal as being a professional wrestler, whether it be just in WWN, do you want to move up, possibly be in WWE, things like that? Like, what is your ultimate goal for as a performer?
AEW.
Ugh.
So I heard that. I mean, my ultimate goal is definitely going to have to be the WWE. I mean, it is the biggest platform for wrestling for anyone to see you on WWE, that you're reaching so many more eyes than you could ever even see. I mean, and that is why it is too a big deal with being with Evolve, and they obviously have a working relationship with WWE. So I mean, you see NXT superstars on Evolve all the time. I mean, coming up, we got Cole's going to be there. Baby. It's really exciting being able to work with a company that brings in people like this, and has like a working relationship with us, and being able for me to say that I get to wrestle the NXT girls. I mean, and I'm sure all the people that, in the back, like they all see, the matches between me and this NXT girl. And it's honestly, it's super, super exciting. But yeah, I have to say that's my ultimate goal, is to get as many eyes on my wrestling as possible.
We saw this year, for the first time in WrestleMania's history, women were the main event, the final match on WrestleMania. That was with Becky Lynch, Ronda Rousey, and Charlotte Flair. So now I want to ask you, name 3 women that are currently on Raw or SmackDown that you would love to be in a main event WrestleMania match with. And who do you think? Who do you think would be? So let's go 3. 1, who is the one that you just? That's my number 1. I want to be there. Number 2, who do you think is going to be the most fun to work with inside the ring? And then number 3, just off the top of your head.
Let's see. That's such a hard question. God, you tricked me with this one. There's like just so many amazing women there that like just to choose 3 of them. The first one, I would probably say Natalya.
Nice.
The second.
Now the second is the person that you think would be the most fun to work with in the main event of WrestleMania.
The most fun.
Who you think you could put on the absolute best workhorse type 5.5, 7 Meltzer star match.
Yeah, who's your Brett and
I'm going to say Asuka.
Asuka? All right, nice.
Yeah.
And then third, just someone that you would love to face, to say you faced them.
I'm going to say Naomi. She's so athletic. It's absolutely incredible to me, like some of the stuff that
Booty Judy.
Those are 3 women that when you look at, for anyone who is watching wrestling, you can watch every match of theirs and go, that was solid. That was really good.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
I love all 3 of those picks.
They're also 3 of the most misused women in WWE.
They're all absolutely amazing athletes. They're just so talented and so athletic, especially Naomi. When I see her doing half of the stuff that, I wish I could only dream of doing. I'm not much of a person that leaves my feet. So,
but at the same time, then that's why a match with Natalya or Asuka would be spectacular for you, because the technical prowess inside that ring of you got holds and reverses, and I can just imagine how beautiful of a piece of artwork that match would be. And that's what it is. Let's not try and make any bones about it. When you put on your performance in that ring, it is a work of art to you, for your competitor, and for anybody watching it. Sometimes it's not always the best piece of art, but it's still a piece of art that you're putting your heart into. Like, we all make mistakes, man. Like, everyone says right now that AJ Styles is the best wrestler, bar none. Through and through, best performer. He is what Shawn Michaels left over to him. But we have seen him still make mistakes. Nobody's perfect. But it does not change the fact that
very rarely him.
But it happens.
Yeah, but even when AJ makes a mistake, he knows how to properly make a mistake.
It's not even a mistake, really. It's barely a mistake.
Right. But again, and then he's going to be his biggest critic, because as we are his biggest fans, and that is what makes a great wrestler. So, Brandy, let's just talk about the Shine thing. So it's going on at the Mahonigan Knights of Columbus Hall in Livonia, Michigan, 19801 Farmington Road. things going on. Shine Tag Team Championship match. Lumberjill rules. Rainbow Bright.
I know.
of Luscious Latasha and Gabby Gilbert defend against the Twisted Sisters of Holly Dead and Thunder Rosa. The Shine Nova Championship match. Aja Pereira with Ayla defends against Shotzi Blackheart. Mercedes Martinez versus Sue Young. Allison Kay versus the debuting Samantha Heights. Ivelisse versus Natalia Markova. Kimberly versus Santana with the Shine Tag Team Champions Rainbow right next to her. You, the one and only Brandy Lauren, against Thunder Kitty, the 90-year-old assumed Thunder Kitty. And then Marty Bell and Lindsay Snow to round out that show. Sounds spectacular. You guys can get your tickets. You can go to WWNlive.com. You can go over there, check out the events. You can get your tickets on eTix. Or, ladies and gentlemen, you go join Club WWN. If you're not in the Michigan area, you're not within that 5-hour mom driving radius, you can watch it on Club WWN for just $9.99 a month. You can get all of the past WWN events. Go ahead and tell us, cut a little promo on Thunder Kitty if you want. Can you? Will you?
The big thing about it is that Thunder Kitty, the whole thing with me and Thunder Kitty is the fact that, I've come to Shine and I've been, just pushing for like our younger generation of female wrestlers to get these opportunities. And then she starts talking about how, that they've worked so hard for everything and they've been working for years. But guess what? I've been working my ass off too. And I've been trying to create opportunities, not just continuous opportunities that someone's given just because they've been there long enough. Well, I've been sitting here working my ass off and continuously showing up to every single Shine show, which all of a sudden she kind of just, disappeared and doesn't think that I deserve the opportunities that I've been given, which is, to me, the absolute most ridiculous thing in the world.
Damn right. You deserve everything that you work your ass off for. And then following the Shine 58 show was Evolve 127. Same place. You can get tickets and you don't even have to move. You get Shine 58 tickets, get yourself Evolve 127 tickets, and in the exact same place, Livonia, Michigan. I can't even say our own damn fucking state.
All right, Michael Cole.
Right? Knights of Columbus
I will be
Hall.
at both of those places.
Brandy
One
Lauren will
starting
be there.
Shine starting at 3 and Evolve starting at 8 p.m.
Boom! NXT superstar Adam Cole, baby! And Cassius Ohno, they will be available for meet and greets. And then the main event is a non-title match where the Evolve champion Austin Theory is taking on Adam Cole of the Undisputed Era. The WWE Championship will be on the line as JD Drake defends against Joe Gacy. There's a special tag team main event of Cassius Ohno and Harlem Bravado versus AR Fox and Leon Ruff. A grudge match with Evolve Tag Team Champion Eddie Kingston versus Kurt Stallion. Special attraction match, Josh Briggs versus Adrian Jowd. There's a special challenge match as well, Anthony Henry versus Juntai. And then there's a new talent showcase, Anthony Green versus Stephen Wolf. And not to mention, as we said, the one and only Brandy Lauren will be in action at Evolve. Damn right, Brandy. At Evolve 127. Yeah. And then she's also going to be in action the exact next night, Saturday night in Indianapolis, Indiana. Remember, etix.com. You can go and get your tickets for Evolve 128. And again, main event number 1, only in Evolve, Adam Cole versus AR Fox. Main event number 2, Josh Briggs taking on NXT's Cassius Ohno. Main event number 3, Austin Theory will defend his Evolve Championship match against Nate Webb. The Evolve Tag Team Championships will be on the line as Eddie Kingston and Joe Gacy defend against WWN Champion JD Drake and Anthony Henry. The Evolve 125 rematch, Harlem Bravado versus Adrian Jowd. Then there's a special challenge match number 1, Kurt Stallion versus Ace Perry. A special challenge match number 2, Shotzi Blackheart versus Natalia Markova. And then there's a 3-way freestyle, Leon Ruff, Stephen Wolf, and Juntai go against each other, and another new talent showcase, Anthony Green versus Steven Pena. Brandy, thank you so much for calling in.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
I can't wait. I won't be at the Shine show because unfortunately I have to work during the day, but I will be at Evolve 127. I hope to get a photo with you, meet you officially in person, and then, watch you just kick someone's ass.
Oh yeah, that's my specialty.
So let everyone know where they can find you on all of your social media, Miss Brandy Lauren.
Yes, everything is now just Brandy Wrestling, Brandi. Don't spell it with a Y because that's definitely not the way you should spell Brandy.
That's not her. That's not her. If you guys are watching live on our Periscope or our Twitter feed, you can see right at the bottom, it's at Brandy Wrestling. So that's Twitter, Instagram.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, nice. And of course, she shared our story that we had of her, that she's liked some things, retweeted some things. So we thank you so much for even just pushing us a little bit because, look, man, one good push deserves another.
One last
thing. Of course. I appreciate you guys helping us get our platform out there.
One last thing.
Ooh, from Z.
Give us a 10-second soundbite of why you should listen to Breaking Down the Ring.
Because they feature Brandy Lauren, and who better to be on that show?
You're goddamn right.
That's what I was fucking talking about.
Perfect.
That was the best soundbite we've ever had in our lives.
That is the truth.
Truly the best.
Brandy, thank you again so much for calling in. Can't wait to officially meet you this Friday night. And we hope to have you on the show again when you're talking about how you're going to be facing someone for one of the Raw or SmackDown Live Women's Championships, if not before.
I would like to see her go against Allison Kay, the current NWA Women's Champion.
Brandy four belts.
we were feuding for well over a year, so, it's definitely possible.
Boom, baby.
All right, Ms. Brandy, thank you again so much for calling, and we hope you have a great night, safe flight to up here in Michigan, and we can't wait to see you Friday and Saturday for Shine and Evolve.
Yes, thank you guys so much. I'll see you then.
Thank you. Talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, that was the one and only Brandy Lauren. You can find her on Twitter and Instagram at Brandy Wrestling. Like she said, don't spell it with a Y. It's BrandiWrestling. And you can see her.
Wrestling.
And you can see her at Shine 58 on Friday in Livonia, Michigan. You can also see her at Evolve 127 in Livonia, Michigan, as well as in Indianapolis, Indiana on Saturday for Evolve 128. She'll be in action. The only star for the entire WWN that's going to be at all three shows. And that's awesome, man. The Queen of Club WWN called in.
So, if Thunder Kitty is really 90, wouldn't that just make her Thunder Cunt?
No, it would be a cat. Be Thunder Cat.
Jesus.
Shit just escalated.
Maybe that's how I would have cut the promo.
Maybe her kitty is thunderous. That's how she got the name.
That or is just a mess down there like a thunder.
Oh, on our Wikipedia page, it says 97 years young.
On Thunder Kitty's Wikipedia page?
Maybe Brandy hacked it.
I would love that. Oh, yeah, she's like 97 now. That's what she is. Sorry, sucker.
I was just actually looking at it when she said Thunder Kitty. So I look up Thunder Kitty. It says 97 years young, and I was just looking at it. Just close it out. Oh, here's Thunder Kitty. Right there, Twitter. 97 years young.
Thanks, Mitty.
Wow.
I was just
Holy shit,
she's
old.
Wow, she really is.
That's some captivating shit.
That makes our truth like 107.
Hey, in black years.
Yeah, 25.
Exactly.
So as we were talking about all this new wild card rule, like we said, Joe, you had the lovely quote of saying it was like watching a movie where the only good parts were the trailers. And because, like we said, Raw, it was better than last week's. But that's like saying it was better because it wasn't a diarrhea type of shit.
I was
it was
just
a
about to say it.
sit.
That's like saying this shit wasn't as drizzling as the previous shit.
Right, like a little more solid, a little bit more fiber.
Right.
like-
I was
it's like
literally
going-
just about to say that. I can't believe you were
It's
thinking.
like going to a baseball game on a Friday and your home team gets beat 13-0, and then you go the next day and they get beat 1-0. So you're like, oh, it's better. It's not great, but it's better.
So, Joe, you were watching this and you were like trying to choke it down, just like the rest of us. But you haven't been here in a couple weeks.
No, I was with Daniel Bryan, doing some self-reflection in solitude.
Some meditation.
I get it.
We've both
It's such a hot body
Good for
chamber.
you.
we've both been on a hiatus since WrestleMania.
And you're
both came back
and you
this
both
week.
don't have a championship. Yeah.
That's right. We are going to be the new planet's champion.
So,
Anyway, just kidding.
for the past couple weeks, obviously, superstar shakeup and everything like that. The superstar shakeup that went from a 2-day to a 1 month long thing.
But it would almost be smart of them to be like, all right, guys, I know we said it was going to be this week, but we're going to do it throughout the whole month. Like the whole month of April is free agent month.
Yeah, but they didn't know because they didn't know that their ratings were going to tank the way they did. And did they tank?
And in some things, they shifted
I mean,
around.
when was the last time the
because of
ratings were actually
personnel.
good, though?
Last year. But it doesn't change the fact that they're now hitting record lows.
It's just been a steady decline
Right,
since
like,
the end of
and
the summer.
and we have all talked about ways that we have wanted to see things change and how things could happen. But Joe, back to you. So you're watching this. You're keeping up with as much as possible. And what are your feelings on all this stuff, man?
I hate it. I mean, I'm ready to check out, honestly.
The only reason you watch it is because hi everybody.
Team Eaton.
Cheers.
Yeah, cheers, Joe.
Cheers. I'll cheers y'all with my empty beer.
No, fuck
Cheers.
Yeah.
Degradation. Team degradation.
Clink.
Fucking
Yeah.
Kesslers.
That's all I can find.
Oh,
Good
There's
lord.
a huge fucking bar out there. I'm really glad I didn't do that shot now. So anyway, you fucking hate it. Ready to check out, Joe.
Yes. The only reason I really keep up is because of this show. Even though I haven't been on the last couple weeks, I still feel obligated to be as up on it as possible. Though I got to say, when I watch it, it's very easy to get distracted by my kid or my phone or the dog or something, and I'm not I'm not taking it all in.
that's why.
And normally, if there's something that I kind of miss, I would go back and like rewind and make sure I don't even care. I just
It's a chore.
I don't. It's more than a chore. It's work. It's like a job that I dread going to. It's
Yeah.
becoming.
Because you're like, oh, what did I miss? And then you rewind it, and you're like, really?
I wasted my fucking time for this. Like,
I could be doing so many more things.
dude,
I've just been reading bullet points lately.
in years past, I would have like checked out by now. Like I've said before, like on the show, during whatever year or era it was, like during the 40-man Rumble, I was like checked out for like a year before that and a year after that. The product was so bad. And then even other times where like I was still kind of tuned in, me and my friends would sit and watch Raw and make it through a 3 hour and 15-minute Raw in like 45 minutes, Fast forward through like everything except for the few segments that actually didn't suck.
Mm-hmm.
Now I feel obligated to not fast forward through shit that I normally would. And it's fucking terrible. Vince is insane.
He's a genius.
If he's trying to portray whatever character on TV, I mean, he's so petty, dude. He's burying the Revival because they want out of their contract and he won't let him out.
He's not even giving Harper anything
Luke
to
Harper
do
wants out of
yeah.
his contract, won't let him out, going to keep him on the bench until November. Like, that's so fucking petty.
Why is that petty?
Because he doesn't need to do that.
He doesn't need those guys.
He's won. No one's ever going to beat him. AEW's not going to beat. Nobody's going to beat him.
This
He
is
won.
this is where I disagree with you, because the
Gotta do
last
WCW.
big wrestling company that failed because the network they were working for was telling them what to do. If Fox is really telling WWE what to do, I could see AEW being the WWE in the Monday Night Wars.
No.
I'm just saying.
Why not? I agree.
Because-
with
Time Warner's what killed WCW overall.
You agree with what?
I agree with Brian.
I don't. WWE is like an albatross. Or not. That's the wrong word. It's an unstoppable. It's like a snowball rolling downhill that keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And
You can't say that though.
But
Be-
now
because-
that's happening
dude,
to the ratings.
re-
It's getting lower and lower and lower. It's
doesn't
like a
matter.
cliff.
It will still always be a monster. Look at WrestleMania. You could have, fucking a cat versus a dog in the main event, and WrestleMania is still going to sell out and make a lot of. It doesn't matter.
Okay, but the thing is, if the WWE is not going to change to improve what's going on, which is catching people to tune out weekly, more and more weekly, to where you're hitting record low numbers, nobody's going to pay any attention anymore. The NFL, sure, yeah, they sell out the Super Bowl because it's the Super Bowl, but at the same time, the minute they started doing things to where the majority of the fans stopped checking out and the TV ratings were going down, the NFL switched things up to.
The Colin Kaepernick thing was one thing too, but we're not getting to that.
But
WWE will do what they need to do to stay in business.
Will
do you
they?
actually see the NFL going out of business? No,
no, I don't.
No.
I don't see the WWE going out of
But
business.
at the same
either.
time, the NFL has no real competition.
Yeah,
neither does WWE.
But the WWE is also not made up of 32 billionaire owners. It's just Vince.
And you have to also remember, man.
AEW's already winning the ratings wars, and they don't even have a
show
fucking
yet.
TV contract yet.
That's not true. Well, that's impossible. I mean,
I'm just saying they're setting record lows. So if AEW had a television contract, they would probably be higher in the ratings than Raw or SmackDown.
Well, okay.
Only because
well,
I would tune out
the first few
just
shows
like-
for
just
sure,
like
just
WC
because of curiosity.
Just like the
factor.
Monday Night Wars when I was a kid.
Nitro first started.
Okay, Raw sucks. I flip over to Nitro. Oh, hey, I like this product.
Well, they're not
better.
going to be going head to head on the same day,
no,
though.
I understand that, but I'm just saying, like, if there is an alternative for disgruntled fans such as ourselves, we are going to check out the other product, if not because we're interested, just out of spite.
Yeah, but that's true. All that being said, I think there's no chance in hell that WWE goes out of business.
And I'll be all like, WWE is the new WCW, and AEW is possibly the new WWE.
No, because AEW does not have 30 to 50 to 75 years of history behind it.
True.
AEW has 0 years.
Well, what's scary to me is what are they doing to attract new fans? Like I read an article a while back, just wrestling in general, even WWE. The average age of their fan is going up every few years. So, like,
Right, but they
guys like us-
cater to the way they cater is they're catering to the age going down. Their product is for children,
and it's
I'm
not
sorry.
work. It's not working. You know.
Or is that what your point was?
Yeah, it's not gaining any grounds with the younger generation.
And that's why, like you said, if the average age range is going up, then the product should go with it. I understand that they're a publicly traded company now. Makes sense.
Since 2000.
Yeah, and they have boards of directors.
Well, I bet you higher ratings would make their stock values go up.
And but
Just saying.
that's the other thing. So WWE had record high stocks like 6 months ago, and it is severely dropping as well because nobody's buying shit. You know, like
The network hurt them with that too, to a certain degree.
for their
Like
stock
buy
price.
rates. Like what is like pay-per-view buy rates were a big thing when it comes to that too.
See, I'm talking about. I'm not talking about pay-per-view buy rates. I'm saying buying anything. No one's watching this show, right? So you have your majority.
So your ratings drop, your pay-per-view buy rates have dropped.
So you had 2.244 million people watch this Raw that just happened.
Really?
Yeah,
No, that was
on
like
average.
the first
That's
hour.
still
No, it's the average. Like
I
that.
thought the
That's
average was
average. No, that's
below
still
2 million.
No. Last week it was below 2 million.
That was
for the third hour.
Oh, last week.
This week's third hour,
So ratings were up this week from last week.
2.024. Yeah, ratings were up last week, but again, still less than the week before because it's still the second lowest. So you had 2.244 million people watch this, right? Just March, you had 2.7, right? 2.9, almost 3 million was your highest on the February 25th. Not the highest. Well, the highest
One of the
didn't
highest.
that didn't have a pay-per-view lead in, right? Because the highest was a 2.923 post WrestleMania episode. So 2.922 on February 25th, which was the week after the post Elimination Chamber episode. Okay. That is your highest. That didn't have a pay-per-view, and even with the pay-per-view lead into WrestleMania, it was 0.001 higher. Okay? So you haven't even touched an average of 3 million this year. You are now coming down because the 2018 average was 2.823. All right? The 2017 average was 3.08. So yes, they are losing more and more people each week. And
They're about, from this time last year to this time this year, they're about 25% down.
yeah,
That's huge chunk.
They're going to shit the bed on the Money in the Bank pay-per-view, too.
and I don't think so.
That's the series finale night of Game of Thrones.
As they say,
They're fucked.
They're fucked. Yeah.
I'll be watching Game of Thrones.
Yeah. Sorry.
We'll be at Buffalo Wild Wings.
I will at least.
I'm gonna tell you this right now. I'm not guaranteeing I'm staying there the entire time, but I have the kids, so I can't guarantee. I said no. We're not probably staying the entire time. Anyway, yes, the Money in the Bank pay-per-view, it has to go up against the series finale of Game of Thrones. Now, okay, back to my original point of what this was going at. Vince, the reason I fear that it could go under, it could go a WCW way, as Z was saying, is because when the things that you're changing because of the money people are giving you and not the long run, long term things that, like the Saudi Arabia deal. I get it. You signed a 10-year contract. I'm not going to argue that.
You only in year 3 of it.
Small fortune.
Right. And I get it. I fucking get it. I'm not going to say don't go to Saudi Arabia. You signed a contract. Way too much fucking. We've all
It's kind of
stated
the
this.
same thing, though. They're letting Saudi Arabia dictate to them what they want. They want Goldberg. They want Shawn Michaels.
They want The Rock.
Undertaker.
But hold
They
on.
want these fucking stars, and the WWE's
But-
delivering.
There's a huge difference with it affecting your daily television show versus building for a single pay-per-view that's going to go away. Go ahead, Z.
So me and my roommate were talking about them bringing back Goldberg for the.
Your roommate's loosely involved in the wrestling business, isn't he?
He's actually an assistant trainer at the House of Truth.
Okay.
Nice.
That just not to brag, but
Get that fuck on the show then.
no, he
Yeah,
got
what the
to
fuck?
drive around Ultimo Dragon this weekend for his shows.
Hey, why don't you get him on the show, Dick
You-
fuck?
you know who
I
else-
brought him on the show.
You know who else did that? Larry fucking Dallas.
I don't know.
And that's just like I'm referring to things like people that complain about carrying somebody's bags, which we'll get into.
Oh, I was gonna say because he came home and he's like, I gotta pick up Ultimo Dragon from the airport, and then I gotta do this with him. I gotta do that with him. We gotta drive him to the gym. We gotta do all this stuff, and he wasn't saying it like
A bad thing.
Yeah, no, it was. I get to hang out with Ultimo Dragon for a fucking week, and I was like,
Hell yeah.
Can I come?
He's like, I got to go to Joanne
the gym.
Fabrics.
Well, so here's the dilemma I had. Quick side note. This is the dilemma I had with it. So Ultimo Dragon will sign anything for $10, and I wanted him
Anything?
anything.
Well, you
So-
gonna whip out your.
I wanted to find my Lions Lucha mask and have him sign it so we could give it away at our next.
You didn't,
event.
did you?
No, I couldn't find it. And the only one I could find was my Rey Mysterio mask, and I wasn't having him sign that.
You should have texted me. Have a midget wrestling mask you could have signed.
This was like, it was a conversation we had in passing, and I was like, fuck, I don't have like any Ultimo Dragon stuff to sign. Like, here's a Velveteen Dream t-shirt. Can you sign that?
Can you sign my Ultimo?
Be like Smitty and like have him sign a comic book or something that has nothing to do with him.
Hey, fuck it. It's still an autograph.
I should have had him sign my Hurricane Helms fucking comic book. It would have been great.
So anyway, you were saying.
I got off topic. What were we talking about?
You want Ultimo Dragon to sign
I
something.
went Ultimo on you. Sorry.
It's all right.
We never go full Ultimo.
I went full
Go
Ultimo.
full Ultimo.
So
All 12 championships.
we're talking about the ratings for WWE and how they could possibly lose anyway if they don't switch up and change things.
Actually change things.
Now, the reason I was stating this and agreeing with Z's point that is, it could be the WWE that goes under because of them doing things for the money. And we were talking about Goldberg and everything like that coming on, and it's not changing the day-to-day product. Like, sure, you might get a month of Goldberg on Raw to push this stuff. You might get a couple shots of Lesnar to push this stuff, but unless they're putting a title on someone at that pay-per-view, which we talked about, like there was a conversation that The Rock might go over so he could go to Saudi Arabia. with
Goldberg
the
is right now.
Well, the rumor now is that
Goldberg's going to take it off.
Goldberg's going to show up for the Saudi show, or the first one.
Well, it's not a rumor. He's confirmed.
Right.
He'll
He's
be
confirmed
there.
for
No,
two
but
Saudi
the
shows
rumor
this year.
is like his little program or whatever. Like he's going to end up. I believe what Crown Jewel 2 is in September. Right?
September.
Okay, so he's gonna take it off Kofi at like SummerSlam, and him and Lesnar are gonna run a promo. The other rumor, which I like way better, is Goldberg versus Bobby Lashley.
Okay.
I like that a lot better. I think as a whole, A, it doesn't need a championship. B, it doesn't affect your day to day like it would
I say
by
it
putting
does.
the belt on another part timer. But also, I think you would get a better match out of Goldberg versus Lashley.
So you don't think they're going to do the Goldberg versus Kofi thing?
I think they will. I mean, for all I know, like it could be Goldberg versus Lashley on June 7th, which then brings Goldberg back. Or I don't know, man. But me and my roommate were talking. This is where this was going, and the Saudi Arabia pays to see guys like Brock Lesnar and Goldberg and Shawn Michaels and the Brothers of Destruction, right?
Mhm.
So why don't you just sell them? All right, hey, we're gonna put on a super show and just send all your fucking legends overseas to put on a fucking show, because that's clearly all they're interested in. And then you make like a Legends Championship, and all these older guys
Like TNA did
that
for a
don't
minute?
work
They
all the
could've just
time.
took Legends
but
of
work
Wrestling
from
over there.
No, but I'm talking like younger esque. You know what I mean? Like Goldberg, Brock Lesnar, like all your part time guys,
Yeah.
right?
That's like TNA did a
And
couple years back.
That makes them happy because that's clearly all they're interested in,
They'll pay for it.
right?
What is what they're paying for, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, so instead of ruining your day to day, like, come up with this like subsection of your roster, which is guys like Shawn Michaels, who may work one match a year or two matches a year, but now it's in Saudi. You know what I mean? Like, it's not a bad idea.
I could see that.
And a lot of these guys, you got to under a Legends contract. Like, here are your 2 appearances.
So I agree with that, but it also takes away from the conversation that we were having in regards to them doing things for the money. Now, like you said, the rumor is that this wild card is happening because Fox wants certain people on. That's one of the rumors.
I don't know, but I think Vince is just scrambling with all that. I don't think that's a Fox thing because he's got plenty of time to get people switched over to shows for Fox.
No, but Fox. See, that's the thing about the Fox deal. The Fox deal is not permanent yet. It's still
In limbo.
It's still pending. So
What do you mean it's still pending?
it's not official. They can cancel it anytime up to a certain date. So Fox is like, okay,
At least 6
we
months
want
into
you
the
to do
deal.
this, or we're going to cancel the deal. We want you to do this, or we're going to cancel the
But
deal.
look,
That type of shit.
WWE has kissed
It's
ass
like
for at least 6
holding
months.
an axe over WWE's head.
And if they're wanting like 3 million viewers a week and they're getting 2, what are you going to do to build that number up?
Not even for SmackDown.
Yeah.
SmackDown's going under.
Bring,
No,
it, to,
I-
bring it to the table. And they're not.
This is what I've read, and from what I've seen on screen, kind of makes sense.
So, do me a favor. See if you can find that article. Z.
I read so much wrestling shit.
Yeah, but you have it somewhere in your history.
Allie's putting together furniture.
Cool. So, Joe, are you dead set that you think there's no way that WWE can go the way of WCW to AEW? Like, let's say AEW comes out with this big money backer and they get good, because they're already admitted that they're paying for their television time. Like,
No, That's not true. That was rebutted. Someone came out and said that's not true.
That they're not paying?
A source from within the company squashed that.
I'll be honest. Even if they were, I thought that was genius because you could definitely go the way of Impact, who had Pop and who had TNN, and they were losing and everything like that. Or you could go the way of possibly paying for a much better network that would get you higher ratings and more things right off the bat. But you're saying there's no way WWE loses to AEW in the long run at all in any other company, not even AEW. Let's just say even New Japan or Ring of Honor at all. There's no way WWE could get bought out by one of those other places.
No, no. The only way I see like things going really south, like what you're talking about, I mean, I think that would cause a domino effect for the whole industry to go south. Because like, say WWE is getting terrible ratings, which they are, and this trend continues. Well, that gets Fox and USA and the TV people and the advertising people talking, and they're talking negatively about wrestling. Well, wrestling sucks because Vince's product sucks. All they see is wrestling sucks. We're not going to put wrestling on our stations. We're not going to back wrestling. We're not going to have our advertisers put their commercials on. And then that could affect other stations like a TBS. I'm like, well, wrestling's not doing so good over there, so maybe we don't want AEW anymore. Because
I disagree with
Ted
that.
Turner wants AEW because Ted Turner wants to fucking take out Vince McMahon.
No, what I'm saying is,
hold on.
I'm saying is like corporate TV people are not fans. They don't look
No,
at
they look at numbers.
They
That's
don't-
all they look at.
They don't look at the difference between like AEW and WWE. They see, oh, if WWE sucks, that just means wrestling sucks. So anything wrestling related, if it starts to get a bad name within the TV industry, it's going to affect the whole industry.
But are you only talking within the next 5 months?
No.
So you're talking long run. So let's say a year from now.
I'm just saying
that-
long run. I'm sorry, that's what I was getting to.
Let's say long run, a year from now. AEW is pulling in 3 million per episode, 3 million viewers an episode. WWE is pulling in 1.2, right? Because if we're looking at the trends, so if we're looking at the trends, WWE last year was 2.83. So we're dropping 0.2 million. So next year.
What I'm saying is, I think if WWE starts going really south, I think that the general interest in wrestling, just the general interest in all of wrestling, is going to go down from the consumers and from the people that are putting it on their TV.
And quite honestly,
Even if the other company is pulling in twice as more.
I'm saying it hurts their chances to pull in those types of ratings.
Why?
Because WWE is the standard. They have to be. I think they have to be successful in order for everyone. I think everybody has to be doing well for the industry to thrive. And if your big dog in the yard, no pun intended, is keeling over and dying, well, that's fucked up for the rest of the pack.
What are you about to say, Z? But it's a nice butt.
if AEW is bringing in what did you say, 3 million,
Yeah.
and WWE is bringing in
1.2, what he said.
I'm
All
gonna,
right, so
I'm gonna switch that
here's the thing for WWE though. it
to
doesn't-
2.5.
This is the difference. AEW is looking to pay a TV company to put them on the air. TV companies are looking to
that's
pay
still just a
WWE.
rumor, I'd say. I don't. We don't know
No,
that
but
to be true.
they're shopping a TV deal, so they're looking to pay for a slot.
But
Whereas
before you're let's take
That's
that
not
off the
necessarily
let's
true,
take that
though.
off the table because he said that was debunked by someone in the company that they're being paid for this.
being paid for the
Yeah, someone's
TV.
paying AEW to be on their network.
Okay. Well, then my point is mute. Then
It's moo, like what a cow
Whatever.
says. Moo. It doesn't
It's
matter.
moo.
It's always moo.
Bitch is a cow. Man.
My point to you, Joe, is that while the big dog in the yard may be keeling over and dying, there's a new pup that's running around doing just better than that big dog was doing the last 3 years.
You don't
Yeah,
know
but the
that
things
yet.
I learned about
No,
pups.
no,
is
no,
if
that's
you
what I'm-
piss
what
that
I'm
old
saying,
dog
what
off,
I-
he's gonna fuck that
Hold on.
pup.
What I'm saying.
That's another thing.
Maybe.
So can
or
I
it could be
finish
like
my
a
point?
Lions.
Can I finish my point?
Yeah.
All right. So you're right. I don't know that, but my point is that if AEW is doing better than WWE, like better, like myriad better, pulling in 3 million viewers to when WWE finally succumbs to it and goes out at 1.2 million and say, okay, no one's paying us. We're moving down networks. We have to have our own network now. We're just going to put Raw and SmackDown on the network now, right? And then they're still only pulling in partial numbers, and they're starting to go back to where Raw began. That means that they're not selling the tickets, which means they're not getting any money in. So eventually,
All this stuff is a lot of big what if scenarios.
But I understand that. But
WrestleMania 6.
I'm saying that if the WWE is dying while other people are thriving, nobody's looking at that going, oh, wow, wrestling sucks. Because they're like, yeah, wrestling sucks. But wrestling right there is pulling in the numbers that you're hoping this one pulls
Like
in.
New Japan is pulling
to
in
Joe's
money.
point,
AEW's pulling
most
them
people
over.
that are casual fans think of wrestling as the WWE.
And I am not arguing the casual fan experience. I'm talking the business experience. Because no matter what, the business people think about the money. And if you're looking at it and this one is falling and not producing any money, but this one is, then
mean,
this is where you're going to go.
And that's what a hardcore
this
fan comes
comes
into
down to
play.
simple-
That's pretty high
our-
aspirations too to expect AEW to pull a 3 million rating within a year of having their first show. I mean, we all love these guys. We love the Young Bucks and Cody and Kenny and all these. We're hardcore fans. The rest of the country's not like that.
I agree, and I'm talking. And the reason I say next year at this time is because my thought process is in the first 6 months is the honeymoon period.
Literally, there's probably one guy in that company that casual fans know, and that's Jericho.
And
Cody.
Rhodes.
I would say Cody.
Maybe.
No, casual. I even think the casual fans know the Bucks. There's a reason that these guys are. It's not so much. They're putting out huge numbers on a YouTube show.
I wouldn't say the casual fan knows the Bucks.
I wouldn't either.
I mean, if
They've
if
heard of
there's
them.
a fan between like Smark and casual fan, they probably know of the Bucks, but the casual fan probably literally only knows WWE.
Just because YouTube, you got to specifically go look for that to go
Being
watch
the
it.
elite and stuff like that.
And New Japan and Ring of Honor just, frankly, does not reach as many eyes as WWE
I'm not
does.
going to argue that at all in any way, shape, or form.
As much as I prefer those products, especially these days, trust me, I wish they did reach more eyes. But the fact of the matter is, they don't.
Well, the branding is really what's done it for, I think, for a lot of people, because like you're wearing that shirt right now. If I'm a casual fan and you got a Young Bucks shirt on like that, I'm like, oh yeah, I know what that is. I've seen that before.
Yeah.
But then, like,
And-
if you just say it, they're like, no, I'm just saying as an example.
I agree with
know
you.
what I mean?
Visually is way
Right.
better than audibly.
So,
Well, I have a Bullet Club shirt, and there's a lot of people that know nothing about wrestling but want a Bullet Club shirt because they're into hunting or guns, or you know what I mean?
Cool.
Like,
It's a slick looking design.
yeah, no, I would buy one
Their
even if I
clothing
wasn't a
looks
wrestling
cool.
fan.
Period.
Yeah.
It just looks cool.
And it's simple.
Yeah, it's not. It's simple. It looks cool. It's not overly like affliction-y, you know, like
Kurt Angle wears with his bedazzled jeans
Right.
and stuff.
We're not talking about the Kurt Angle's like TNA attire.
His current attire, sir, he wears that out.
I saw the Gino.
The Speedo, the jean Speedo.
Yeah, and I thought of you instantly. I was like, Mikey needs one.
I'd wear
To wear under his jorts.
over my shorts. Superman style.
All jean everything.
Oscar style.
Oscar style. Rock my thong over. Whoa, sorry, guys. I just kicked your fucking camera.
I just threw up in my mouth a little bit.
That's
Why?
fine. You always make us. do
Why?
it,
Because
so.
I made you choke thinking about my dong and my Gito. So
eat a cupcake, you'll be fine.
Yeah, suck down that chocolatey white top goodness.
God damn it! Now it's black. Now the chocolate's gonna be the bottom bitch.
It's like Smitty doesn't know whether to puke or get hard. It's like when he lost his virginity.
Right. So we
I cried.
teamed.
that was great.
Never seen a 27-year-old man cry before.
Callie just asked, since when does Smitty get offended? turning into a little bitch, Smith.
Somebody's got to be.
Real question is, when is Callie coming back on the show?
Yeah.
For a guest appearance.
Bring that ass here, girl.
Like we talked to somebody from Shimmer, and Kaylee's not even here to ask like
Shine.
Shine.
Oh, my bad. It's close.
Jesus fucking Christ.
We'll edit that part out.
Right, yeah. Fucking Smitty burying fucking the fucking company that this lady works for while we're on the interview with her. Yeah, you did, idiot. Yeah, it's the subsidiary of it, you dumb fuck. Oh, those 3 wrestlers? Oh, they suck. They've been used wrong right now. Huh? Why? Idiot. Anyway, moving on. We have some Money in the Bank stories to talk about. Got last 45 minutes of our show. And Callie says Z is acting like Smitty.
All right, fine. Don't come back on the show.
So we did a little wheel test,
Does this
ladies and gentlemen.
Does your chest look like Smitty's?
I don't know. Do we have the same chest?
He may be he have a little more hair than I do.
So we did a table where we spun it, and then each person got somebody to pick. Smitty has Randy Orton for the men's Money in the Bank, and Naomi for the women's Money in the Bank to win, and he's supposed to give us a story regarding them to when they cash in. Will they win? Will they lose? Z has Drew McIntyre for the men, Mandy Rose for the women's. Joe has Finn Balor for the men's and Natalia for the women's.
He's got the best lineup out of
Finn Balor.
I have Ali for the men's and Dana Brooke for the women's. And Nick has Baron Corbin for the men's and Carmella for the women's. I'll be honest, man. Dana Brooke for the women and Baron Corbin for the men are the 2 lowest, right? So you and I, Nick, we're there. So
I
Smitty,
have the 2 winners, period.
you Drew and Mandy. So Smitty, let's start with you, but let's start with the woman's Money in the Bank. Naomi. Naomi, on the night that Game of Thrones ends, somehow.
Get your drinks ready.
Oh fuck! He's gonna. So we have to do the shot for fodder. So Naomi
You just
wins.
said it, so now we gotta
no,
do
no.
2.
It's just when Smitty says it. Yeah, no, you're right. It's when anyone says it. So drink the beer, fodder.
Twice.
I know what I did. All right. So Smitty, Naomi wins the night Game of Thrones ends. How long does it take Naomi to cash in? Who is it going to be against? And will she win? Give me a story, brother.
2 months, cashes in, tries to cash in on Becky, and literally loses. She's fodder to Becky's title reigns.
Fodder, drink.
And it leads to her trying to take the title another 2 or 3 times where she continues to be fodder.
Stop it. You're the worst storyteller ever.
Right? Like, he's just like, oh, here's the ending of it. Here's where's
No, this is NLBL because like this is the only thing I can see because there's no way they're gonna give Naomi that case. Outside of
See,
using
that-
it
here's
as
the
an
Your
thing.
story
You're-
was
you're
supposed to
yeah,
be
you-
if she does get the case, how?
You're creative. You're creative. They went to give her the belt. They look to you and they say, now give her her story with this fucking case. And you go, well, she's not going to win it, so I don't have to fucking do this.
And with that creative story, you can no longer be mad at WWE Creative.
No, because I can be out there with the critic because like,
No, you're
I'm
supposed to
thinking-
have a fucking imagination about this. You're supposed to make it seem like it's impossible that she would not win it. Why is she, I don't care why she wins it. They give her the belt. Dude, what if every fucking woman in this match gets injured?
Every one of them.
Every-
Bomb
it's-
goes off. Everyone loses an
Let's be
arm.
very honest. So someone gets a fucking concussion, right? And during the match, so all of a sudden that changes. There was
Everybody
a shin
gets
splint.
gonorrhea.
Yeah, something happens to
That
where
could happen.
something happens to where Naomi is the only choice of person to win this, and she gets it. But you're sitting there going, "That's never going to happen." So I'm not even going to think about this. I have Dana fucking Brooke, and I got a fucking story told.
And it doesn't have anything to do with the work she's had
That's
done on
still
her face.
more logical than them giving that case to Naomi.
You
What
think,
does that case
why?
do with
Because she's
them?
white.
No, I'm not even saying it's
How is
black.
How is Dana Brooke more likely to win the Money in the Bank than Naomi?
Because what they've done with her over the last couple weeks leading to WrestleMania. What have you done with Naomi
All
over the
they've
last
done
2
was
years?
Sasha left, insert Dana here. That's all they've done.
Naomi
Yeah,
has
that's probably more of a rib to Sasha than anything.
look how good Dana's doing. No, Naomi has still gone over and looked good in the matches that she's had.
Yeah, she just talks like a second grader.
Yeah, and you
She's
talk like
terrible.
this, but now, come May 19th, watch her actually walk out with the fucking briefcase.
I will give each of you $25 if that happens.
You don't
Deal.
have 25
Don't- no.
bucks to give
That-
anybody.
You owe
that's
me
fine.
20 already.
If he owes me, I'll never be broke.
Actually, do it.
All right. Next, Z. Mandy Rose wins the Money in the Bank contract. What happens with her? When does she cash in? Who does she cash in against? Tell me your story, brother.
All right, so I originally wrote mentally a different story, but I'm using part of that for my Drew story, so bear with me here. So Mandy wins Money in the Bank.
Not Naomi, because there's no way Naomi's going to win.
Yeah, why would that ever happen? So then you have, Mandy bragging about, I won Money in the Bank. And, typical heel-esque Money in the Bank holder. But the whole time, Sonya's standing behind her and, months go by. So we got Money in the Bank at May 19th. So we're going into SummerSlam. And you can just kind of see the tension building between Sonya and Mandy.
Remember our proving
So
ground.
finally, Sonya's like, fuck you. You don't even deserve that, Money in the Bank briefcase. We should have a match. Winner gets the briefcase. So, they finally break up and they have their one-on-one match. And Alexa Bliss actually comes out and helps Mandy win the match. So, Sonya's distracted. She gets rolled up. Mandy wins. Continuing the feud
Wild
with
card.
Sonya, but making Mandy the absolute Money in the Bank winner. So then next month's pay-per-view. What's after SummerSlam? Night of Champions?
I'll be honest.
Ish.
They're moving
Clash
things around. So
Yeah, because
just
Black
the
House
pay-per-view
Rock
after
the
the
pay-per-view
SummerSlam. Who
after
cares about the name?
SummerSlam, Mandy ends up cashing in on, probably Becky for the Raw title.
Mandy's on SmackDown. Just give you a heads up.
Yeah, but she
Okay.
has the Money in the Bank, so she can.
Okay,
go
yeah.
any-
So she's swapping.
Yeah, she
she's
can go
swapping
anywhere.
brands. Okay.
Plus, her cards are wild.
Yeah, wild cards, man. Wild horses stuff.
I can't break you down.
So, she cashes in on Becky because Becky is still Becky 2 belts, has 2 matches that night. Mandy decides to, cash in on Becky after her second match. And Sonya so Mandy officially cashes in. Hands the briefcase over.
Pay-per-view after SummerSlam.
Bell rings. Yep, whatever it may be. And then at the end of the match, Sonya comes down. Alexa Bliss then comes down to help out with Sonya because her and Mandy now have this little alliance. And they're both up on the apron. And Sonya hits Alexa Bliss, and Mandy's coming over to see what the commotion is, then gets hit, almost headbutted by Alexa Bliss and rolled up by Becky 1, 2, 3, losing her opportunity and making Becky the only woman to win 3 matches in one night.
All right, I like that, and it still puts over Becky Lynch pretty. That's actually a really good story because there's drama involved in it. There's a connection I like that, bro.
That's off the top of my fucking head. Still better than Smitty.
Because what would you do for Naomi then? Go ahead. I'm waiting.
No, see, Smitty, see,
He already did his job.
yeah,
My point. No, I know because I thought about this when I first saw it. It's like there's nothing you could do with Naomi at this point.
because you're just not going to think about it. Like Nick has Baron fucking Corbin. You think Baron Corbin is a likelihood to win the Money in the Bank?
I think
Again?
he's actually likely to win it again because they actually are doing things with Baron Corbin at this point.
Again,
But isn't the Money in the Bank briefcase a chance to do something with somebody that doesn't have anything going for them at the time? Like
Yeah, but-
Carmella last year?
Okay, let's.
No,
Yeah.
sorry, 2 years ago.
So Carmelo, but he had James.
Here's the thing.
you can leave that open.
This
too, Joe.
this is the problem. We're not talking about WWE story. You get to make your own story. So you got Naomi. How would you as a person, not fuck WWE, fuck all the storylines, how would you have her go over at Money in the Bank and then going forward, cashing in? Like, what would your story for her be?
My personal story? I'll have her go heel.
There you go. You're already telling a better story than you told.
And yet that's 100%. But you chose not to give a fucking story, but yell at us like it's our fault that you can't.
No, say no. My logic is still like my logic is not WWE's logic.
We're not asking for WWE's logic.
I'm asking you. You have Naomi. Naomi wins the briefcase.
How do you write her story?
Tell me a story of how Naomi cashes in and either wins the championship or fails to
But we're done concentrating on you because you chose to let it go, and we only have a half hour of a show left.
But now we know he's going to turn her heel.
Right, that's the most we got. So maybe you'll actually do something when we come over there with Randy Orton, even though you also think that's impossible for him to win.
No,
we're not talking about it right now. Joe, you're next. Natalya wins the Money in the Bank contract. Give me a story for her to when she cashes in, who she's cashing in on, and will she become the new Raw or SmackDown Women's champion with that cash in?
All right. Well, this one's also kind of off the top of my head, kind of like Z's was, being how I didn't really have time to even watch SmackDown. I didn't have much time to put into this either, but I think I actually got a pretty good little storyline here for this. So Natty wins Money in the Bank on May 19th. You guys remember that?
Yeah, May 19th.
Then it was just Kane's stupid movie.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know why I don't know why I thought of that.
See no evil.
Yeah. May 19th. It just got me thinking about that. Was so dumb. Okay, so Natty wins Money in the Bank. She carries it for quite a long time, quietly. Not a lot of noise making with it. She's just got it. She's always coming to the ring with it. Not much is said about it. There's not a lot of, where we're speculating on our shows before. Is this gonna be the time when people are just kind of forgotten about it,
So she's held this for quite a while.
Right. And then all of a sudden, Royal Rumble rolls around and the number 30 entrant comes out. Surprise. It's Ronda Rousey back from her dictation, her impregnation or whatever. Yeah. So she's back fresh off having the kid. And
having the kid.
She just popped this kid out, right? She comes back
C-section scar and all.
Number 30 spot, Royal Rumble, wins the thing. Kind of like a Batista thing. The fans are not having it. She's still catching heat from her previous run, and she's catching heat from taking time off right after WrestleMania. So she's catching heat. They may be trying to push her as a face, but it's not getting over. She's just getting more and more hated by the fans weeks leading into WrestleMania. So WrestleMania rolls around. Ronda's carrying the belt. She's got a match with whoever the lead babyface is at the time. Maybe it's Becky.
After WrestleMania?
No, at WrestleMania.
Okay.
She's got a match with the lead babyface. Maybe it's Becky. Maybe it's someone else by that time.
So Ronda used her win. Did her win at Royal Rumble to come in before WrestleMania?
No. Ronda. Okay, so Ronda's going against the lead babyface title holder at WrestleMania.
Okay.
She takes the belt at Mania in a controversial finish. The crowd is shitting all over it. Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar style. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden, here comes white meat super babyface Natalya and cashes it in on Ronda. Sends the crowd home happy.
White meat.
Natalya finally gets her due for all of her years of putting in work, and it's a happy moment.
Nice. So WrestleMania So you're saying that it's possible that they main event WrestleMania a second year in a row?
It doesn't necessarily have to be the main event. I'm just saying the women's, the match
ends with everyone being happy.
Right. Rousey wins the title match, the title shot at Rumble. She gets that shot, wins unpopularly. Ronda comes in, cashes in.
You mean Natalia?
Natalia comes in, cashes in, puts fucking smiles on the fans' faces.
This is really tickle butt for you.
Not really.
I know,
why?
I'm just
Why is that tickle butt? I think that's
everybody's happy.
that's more like
everybody's smiling.
Well, yeah, but it's all wrestling. It's not. It's wrestling oriented.
Yeah.
It's a good story. Anything's better than Smitty.
WrestleMania, for the most part, especially when you want to send people home happy for the most part, especially the top of the card stuff. You know,
Yeah, no, I don't.
it's when major titles are on the line. I think that's usually
they
the
did for
time
this year's
when you
WrestleMania.
want to have your good guys win, or you know, you don't usually want to send people home like with an Empire Strikes Back ending at WrestleMania. You know,
But the Empire Strikes Back was awesome.
But how many times has that happened?
All right, I'm next, and I have Dana Brooke winning the Money in the Bank briefcase to go on.
the collagen injection on a pole match.
Oh my!
So-
Here's your new nose. It's up there.
Oh, there's my left boobie.
Dana,
My forehead got smaller. Sorry, done.
Dana Brooke is your new Money in the Brook champion.
Oh, I see what you did there. I see what you did there. That was good.
Genius.
Now, Dana
How
Brooke
much? He's a genius.
has been talking left and right about how she has been misused, how she deserves a chance, and all she needs is a chance. Well, now she finally has her chance. Until the pay-per-view right after, when she's in a wrestling match, and then out, let's...
Had a dream, not a maid.
Her win is cost because Sasha Banks comes back to the WWE and costs her a match at the very next pay-per-view after, not the Saudi pay-per-view, that next pay-per-view, whatever they just changed it to.
End of June or whatever.
Yeah.
Stomping
Stomping
Ground was
Grounds, yeah.
back. Was supposed to be Backlash.
So now Stomping Ground has Sasha Banks coming out and costing Dana Brooke her match, which leads to the next night on Raw. And the next night on Raw, Dana Brooke, the Money in the Brook, calls her out, Sasha Banks. And Sasha comes out and says, I don't know why you took my name off of that title, off of that briefcase. It should have been mine. The only reason you were in that match is because I wasn't here. If I would have been here, I would have won the Money in the Banks briefcase. So they argue for a couple weeks, and there's constant conversation, competition going in between the two ladies. But it doesn't happen until, so they have a match at the next pay-per-view. Sasha goes over, and then Sasha says, "See, I told you. You should, if you put that briefcase on the line, I'll take it then too. Dana can't take this anymore. She's constantly getting bullied, constantly getting fucked with by Sasha Banks. Dana Brooke's the face. Sasha Banks has come back heel, right? At SummerSlam, Sasha Banks goes over Dana Brooke to become the Money in the Banks briefcase
Like
holder.
a mouse.
Like a bouse.
But do you realize that?
But after that, she goes and cashes in the same night on Becky Lynch, who still has the belts. And because that's been building on Twitter, even just recently, Becky Lynch said that Sasha Banks has fallen off. So she cashes in that night after Becky retains her Raw Women's Championship, but Sasha Banks goes over and at SummerSlam not only wins the Money in the Bank contract, cashes it in, and is your new Raw Women's Champion. You had some shit to talk there, Smitty?
Yeah, because first and foremost, people were trying to get Sasha will go way over if she went heel.
Why is he arguing a fictional story?
Because that's what he does.
No, but that's a fact.
But we're
Sasha's
not-
a better heel than she
These
is a
are
face
fictional
anyway.
stories.
Fictional characters.
I understand your story was literal bullet points, but the rest of us are telling stories. You don't have to like them. It's just a story. You just gotta listen.
It doesn't matter. I don't care if the people want her to be heel. You can make anybody boo you. Being a heel and getting it booed is easy.
And let's
Do
be
you think
honest,
Sasha
if
will be able to
Mr. Jefferson's daughter wins the Money in the Bank, that is the best way to do it. What's wrong, guys?
No, it's my wishing tree. Come in my wishing tree. Sit with me. It's okay. No, it's ridiculous. No, it's ignorant. We can slay in the bed together. It's ignorant. Smitty, you're still not catching the point of this. The whole point of this is to tell a story that makes sense, that has ratings, that brings people in to want to watch. And if Sasha fucking Banks shows up at the pay-per-view after Money in the Bank, costing Dana Brooke a singles match, then faces her at the next one and beats her in a singles match, then takes the Money in the Bank at SummerSlam and cashes in to beat Becky Lynch, one, it doesn't matter if she's heel or not. You can be bad enough and make people boo you. The whole point is to make a story that is entertaining, that anybody would want to watch and appreciate. You're just over here treating it like it doesn't fucking matter, and that's not what we want on this show. We want people to put effort in. Now Nick gets to put effort in because he has the one and only Carmella to win the women's Money in the Bank match.
Is her middle name Michelle, and then her last name like, I don't know, start with a P, so she could be like CM Punk?
I'm actually about to look this up now.
You're gonna put effort into your Randy Orton story?
The Randy Orton story I already thought through already.
Prove it. Nick, give me a story. Carmella
Your story's not just gonna come out of nowhere.
Carmella wins and becomes the first ever 2-time women's Money in the Bank briefcase holder. What'd she do with it?
Sunday morning, May 19th. The sun comes up over the horizon over the Yum Center. No, I.
We asked for a story, not WWE
in
24.
in the match itself, I think Carmella. I would see Carmella. Ladders next to each other, super kick to Ember Moon, knocks her off a ladder, gets the briefcase. Done. Cool. Does a little dance break at the end. Her and R-Truth, the next couple of months, they come out and do their thing. It's still all truth. He's still coming out as like, doing his thing, getting the crowd popping. They're doing the dance break. She's just kind of like there with him, running around with the briefcase. Eventually, Mandy's going to get pissed off. Why do you have this briefcase? I should have won this match for whatever reason. In the background, Becky's going to run through SummerSlam as Becky Two Belts still. She's going to still be running with this whole idea. It's going to lead into Clash of Champions with Mandy and Carmella for the briefcase. Mandy's going to still be running her mouth at Carmella. All you do is come out here with truth. You don't ever fight anybody, all this bullshit. So Mandy's going to go over, win the briefcase at Clash of Champions, and then later on in the night, she's going to beat Becky for the SmackDown title and leave Becky one belt. Simple.
So Mandy's going to cash in?
No, Mandy's going to fight at Clash of Champions Carmella for the briefcase.
Okay. No, you made it sound like Mandy won the bet.
Oh, no. Nope.
Yeah, I was confused for a second there.
Yeah.
Which is fine. We still love you.
Yep. Still better than Smitty's.
Well, yeah. Coming from the basement to the ground floor is huge.
Real simple. It's great, actually.
Couple stairs.
Yeah.
Actually.
Hey, all right.
It's like bullet point, better than Smitty.
Now, boys, we're actually going to save the men's until next week because we only have like 10, 15 minutes left.
I tell mine so I don't forget it.
No. You'll have to type some shit out, dog. Sorry. And this will also give Smitty a week to come up with something.
All right.
I actually
I'll give you guys a preview, though.
No.
Mine includes EC3.
All right. Nice stable.
I think I need to come up with a little bit more detail because you guys had like a real elaborate, you know what I mean? I'm just kind of like...
Well, I'll be honest. The only reason... Like, it's not like we just had a regular cash-in. You know what I'm saying? Like, the only... like, ours... With yours, it makes sense. Like, she got challenged. There was still a story there.
Yeah.
Joe's involved why the Ronda Rousey was involved in it, and it makes sense because of their friendship.
Yeah.
Me, I had to have a story because fucking Dana Brooke isn't going to be the fucking one to cash that briefcase in. It was going to be Sasha Banks. Just, in all honesty, I could literally see my fucking scenario actually playing out.
Yeah.
Are we gonna have time next week with picks?
Is next week the picks?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
What?
Wow.
I just thought of something.
Did it hurt?
Is it a good story?
No.
No. Yeah.
It's literally, we'll talk about it off the air.
Oh, he's going to have some sex. All right, you know what? You're right. Let's try and run through these. Whatever we don't get, we'll get to. So, Smitty, you are starting this one off. Randy Orton wins the men's Money in the Bank ladder match as Game of Thrones is going off of the air, so no one watched it.
Even setting the mood.
And no one cared. Smitty, make people care.
Winter is coming.
It came.
So Randy Orton has this whole angle at this point. Randy Orton's like, when it comes to Kofi, I'm the one thing that stops Kofi. That's his whole angle. I stop Kofi. I'm the one that beat him in the gauntlet. I'm the person that I'm the reason that he didn't get too as far as he did in 2009. When it comes down to it, Kofi can't beat me. So we start. This is how we huh?
Randy didn't beat Kofi in the gauntlet. Fucking Randy came out and hit AJ.
AJ beat.
Yeah,
Kofi.
yeah. Well,
That's my own. Like I'm not. I understand. I see where you're going, but I'm just giving you a heads up.
Kofi, look, when it comes down to Kofi King as champion, it's pretty much Kofi doesn't beat me, whatever. And that leads to a whole feud with them why he's Money in the Bank holder, but he does not take the championship off of Kofi. Whoever beats Kofi, that's where Randy cashes in as the whole Viper thing and cashes in. And Goldberg actually beats him before the Saudi Arabia thing.
Worst storyteller ever.
So,
because
It does not make sense.
No, because
Chewbacca was a Wookiee.
so pretty much like Randy Orton's whole heel person, like they're not. It's like once again, like this is also some of this a personal thing. Like if like anybody thinks like I don't think
what.
So okay, I think it's like literally whoever takes the title off of Kofi is not gonna have the title for too long. I think Orton cashes in as a kind of tweener character and gets beat by Goldberg for the title right before the Saudi Arabia thing.
Okay, so that makes my
I think I explained the way I was trying to explain it.
Yep.
This didn't come out right.
Absolutely.
So pretty much like, okay, so the Saudi Arabia thing is September, right?
You're already past Randy cashing in, though.
No, the Saudi Arabia thing is like fucking June.
Well,
the second one,
Crown Jewel.
Crown Jewel
Yeah,
2.
but they're coming to this first one.
Was he confirmed for both or one?
I don't know. I only heard about this first one.
I know about the Crown Jewel 2 in September. That's the one I know about.
Yeah,
There's
the
the
one at the
June
beginning of
7th. They're
June.
doing they do 2 shows in Saudi. They're doing one on June 7th and one in September. The one in September is Crown Jewel 2. I have
That's what
no
I know about.
idea what the name of.
No, but
other
that's
than
what
network exclusive.
But that's what I know about is the Crown Jewel 2 in September. That's the one I know about.
But I thought Goldberg and Lesnar and everything were going to the first one. The one
And
that's,
June 7th.
Yeah.
correct.
well, if that's the case, it makes my story more valid.
I'm still trying to figure out what your story.
So your story originally was Kofi was going to hold on to that belt until September or August.
Till August at least.
So SummerSlam.
Yeah.
And then Orton cashes in and then loses at the Saudi event after SummerSlam.
He loses right before the Saudi event. I think it's even if it's on television to Goldberg, just to get a rating spike. And Goldberg goes into Saudi Arabia as a WWE champion.
Do you know why that story sucks? And I'm just being very honest. Like I appreciate the fact that you put effort into this one, but the reason it sucks is because it's not you. It's not you. That is a WWE story. You're literally going in there with the confines of what WWE's working with. You're not putting you into this. You literally were just like, okay, so WWE's gonna do this. I think this is what WWE's gonna do. I don't think
I'm that jaded with WWE. Is that a problem?
Hold on. What you are failing to realize when it comes to these stories, that you are the booker, you are the promoter, you are the agent. Anything you want to happen,
WWE is yours. You own it. But you're still.
If Randy won, it doesn't matter. Like, fuck Goldberg, fuck Brock Lesnar, fuck all that. How would you tell that story? That's what we're getting at. Not how would you tell the story given these resources.
And
how
have
would
it
you
make
tell
sense.
the story, period?
Continue the whole authority angle with Kofi. And then when it was just try to do what they did at SummerSlam with Bryan and have Orton fail. Right at SummerSlam.
So he cashes in at SummerSlam and fails.
Yes.
B. Z. I don't know why I just called you B.
All right. So,
you have Drew McIntyre.
Claymore kick. Climb the ladder. Grab the briefcase. Next night on Raw, Drew McIntyre realizes he's pissed off a lot of fucking people since he's been back. I mean, just the whole fucking roster. So he's looking for allies. I mean, you know, this is one of those backstage segments that takes the entire episode of Raw. Like, they always cut back to it, and he's asking people, and basically, fuck you, Drew. Stumbles upon Smolder on the mates, and Heath Slater, and Jinder Mahal. So he's like, hey guys, it's been a long time. I'm back now, a little bit bigger.
Couple of cycles, you know.
What do you guys see? We get the band back together.
Couple of cycles.
So, what do you guys say we get the band back together?
I thought this was supposed to be your booking and not WWE.
No. Wait for it.
All right.
So
this sounds really WWE.
Sound tickle butt.
So, they're backstage, and Jinder and Heath are both like, yeah, we'll think about it. In the meantime, Drew McIntyre walks up to EC3 and, asks him, hey, will you have my back, blah, blah, blah. EC3 just punches him right in the fucking mouth. All right? Setting up this whole feud. We're talking Money in the Bank to SummerSlam. Just EC3 and Drew McIntyre going back and forth.
So you're saying,
so like
hold on,
2
wait.
months.
Yeah.
No, so I apologize for cutting you off. He's after winning the briefcase at Money in the Bank is when he's going in the back talking to people.
Yes, because
Okay.
he's like, I have the Money in the Bank briefcase, but I pissed a lot of people off. I need some backup.
I was thinking like the next Raw or through a couple Raws. Okay.
No, next night on Raw.
Okay.
So he gets in this little feud with EC3. The very next week, obviously, Jinder and Heath are like, all right, fine, we'll get the band back together. 3MB, rock out. So he goes into this feud up until SummerSlam with EC3. Finally beats EC3 with the help of Heath and Jinder. But during this period, there's a lot of tension in the group because Drew thinks he's this big badass now, and fuck you guys, you are, you're my sound check guys. I'm the lead singer of this band, all right? So come the pay-per-view after SummerSlam, which I don't think we put a name to it yet.
Right, yeah, whatever.
But pay-per-view after SummerSlam, Seth Rollins gets, speared by Roman Reigns. And Drew comes running down, hits Roman with the briefcase.
Mm-hmm.
Roman rolls out of the ring, hits Seth with a Claymore kick, turns to turn the briefcase in. Here comes 3MB, to have his back. And as he's going for a second Claymore kick, EC3's music hits. He comes down the ramp. So Drew walks over the rope, starts yelling at him in whatever Scottish, Irish, whatever the fuck he is accent. Seth rolls him up. 1, 2, 3, costs him. EC3 continues to come down the ramp. Now you have Heath on this side and Jinder on this side. They all slide in the ring and start beating down Drew McIntyre. Now you have EC3MB.
Tickle butt.
That's just awful, dude.
That's so bad. That is so fucking bad.
It's for the kids.
And I love how you just like, this is what's gonna happen, and it's fucking bad and funny at the same time.
So that's so bad because my original thought is when I was doing the whole Mandy thing, the reason Mandy beat Sonya is because her and Alexa Bliss had already became besties, and then EC3 comes down the ring, making EC3MB. Mandy Bliss.
So I feel like Samir talking to Peter in Office Space. It's just terrible.
Hey, Peter, man.
Terrible, terrible idea.
I paid my.
Hey, Peter, man.
No,
Still
not-
better than half the shit you see weekly.
That's not saying much.
I know.
Joe,
But
you have
at least all these guys got TV time. All right.
Joe, you have the Intercontinental Champion Finn Balor winning the Money in the Bank briefcase.
Okay, so he wins the briefcase. He does the coup de grace off the top of the ladder on some unsuspecting schmo, and then climbs back up and grabs the thing. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. So the next event is Saudi Arabia, and our worst fears are confirmed. Goldberg takes title off Kofi Kingston, total Vince style. And then time goes on. Second,
I love how you just like thought about it and go, God, this is gonna happen, and it's fucking stupid, and I hate it. And I can only laugh at it.
but me being the booker is gonna put a happy spin on the shit leading up to it. So time goes on. Goldberg's the champ. Makes like two TV appearances in between the first Saudi show and the second one. So he goes into the second Saudi show holding the title. Of course, his opponent's going to be Brock Lesnar, who then takes it off Goldberg in 1 minute
29.
and 17 seconds. And, Brock's just standing there, with the, smiling, laughing, derpy Brock look on his face.
Dog biscuit teeth.
Yeah. Paul Heyman standing there with his evil genius smile, and it's great. And they're just celebrating away. They're having a good old time. They're proud of what they've done here. Then all of a sudden, the lights go black, and you hear the heartbeat. There you go. And then out comes the fucking demon from behind the curtain, crawling his way down the ramp, doing his little crab crawl, whatever you call it.
Is he holding the briefcase in his mouth?
Yeah.
I was actually thinking that too.
He totally is.
Yeah.
See, and then the camera pans to Brock, and he's not taking this shit seriously. He thinks it's funny. He thinks it's stupid. He's laughing.
Does he think it's tickle butt?
He thinks it's tickle butt. Paul Heyman's also laughing. They don't consider Finn a threat at all. Finn hits the ring, running drop kick into the corner. Boom! Right in the chest. Blast Brock into the corner. Brock drops, lays down. Boom, coup de grace. That's it. 1, 2, 3. Your new champ in Saudi Arabia.
WWE champion at that. Nice.
You know what Joe's story made me realize?
That you hadn't had an erection all day until just now.
No.
Oh.
That we're gonna see the coup de grace from the top of a ladder.
Callie loved that fucking thing. She said, "Yeah."
Did it make her moist?
Probably.
Yeah, tell me I act like Smitty now.
I have Mustafa Ali, the heart of SmackDown Live, winning the Money in the Bank briefcase. And I'll be honest, this was really difficult until I finally watched SmackDown today. And as over as Ali was, Ali's also got booed because of Kofi. So there is Ali's making a slow change from face to heel, because every time he comes out there, he warns Kofi. You never know, man. It's like I can always just show up.
So hard to make him a heel in this day and age, though, without going
Common conception, though,
without
is
going
Anti-America?
Muhammad Hassan. style. You know,
I agree, but I think this is the one time because he's already built as something else. So he's not going to be the
Arab American heel.
Yeah, but he's not going to be the normal fucking because he hasn't even been built as that.
He's from Chicago.
Yeah, the people they know he's a former Chicago Police Department.
he's already touched on this type of character. A good heel character for him would be like, I'm an American. He's already kind of touched on it a little bit, but he could turn it up a lot. Like, I'm an American. You all give me shit for being an
but
Arabic American.
in my story, he's not, because the reason he goes heel is because he's constantly antagonizing Kofi a little bit more each week. You never know. You never know. And Kofi is just beloved. Ali got no fucking reaction. Was booed when he came out for that triple threat match because Kofi wasn't in it. So the fans have already chosen their side on which one that they're going to go with. So as much as they're cheering for him now, and they'll still cheer for him, but eventually come Survivor Series, he's now full-blown heel. Fucking, hitting people with the briefcase, whatever. Arguing, constantly telling, because he's done now antagonizing Kofi, going, hey, just showing up. He's now just going on. Well, I also believe that Kofi now has this run until the Royal Rumble. And at the Royal Rumble, Kofi is going to lose that belt to Roman Reigns. And Roman, by this time, has been built back up and correctly with making it look like he could lose. He's been beaten a few times. The people are actually hoping Roman wins and are now at the point where they just want a great face-to-face match.
Long-haired, greasy dude against smaller, long-haired, greasy dude?
Similar, yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So
Kinky hair, not even grease in there.
Anyway,
I
so
got nigga hair.
Roman versus
God.
Roman versus Kofi is a face versus face matchup where the crowd is just hot the entire time. Roman goes over. He goes over clean. Him and Kofi are in the middle of the ring, shaking hands. Kofi's raising his hand, telling him he can't wait to have another shot at it. As Roman goes to stand up get on the fucking ring post again, then out of nowhere, you see the briefcase fly and smash Roman in the face. And then flipping over the barricade is Ali, who then takes that briefcase and beats the absolute living shit out of Roman and Kofi. Cashes in. 1, 2. Roman fucking kicks out.
Of course.
Yeah. Still going
Well,
at
he took 7 at 5. So
yeah.
What's a briefcase?
Yeah, it was a briefcase to the face. Well, also, he went and attacked Kofi right after that, too. So Roman's had time to get back. Roman fucking kicks out but he doesn't even, Ali hasn't even hit his finisher yet. Ali then does hit his finisher on Roman Reigns, and Kofi breaks up the pin. Kofi then starts beating up Ali.
So is it a triple threat then?
No. But Kofi breaks up the pin by
Wouldn't
pulling.
that be a DQ though?
No, pulling the ref out. So the ref is like, "What the shit?
Okay.
What the shit? You can't be." He fucking gets him out of there. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. So yeah, he didn't hit anybody to break up the pin. Kofi Kingston pulled out the ref because he knows that this is not right. Obviously, Mustafa Ali is pissed off about this.
Is this where you incorporate Earl Hebner?
No. Brian Hebner comes through.
Dave Hebner. He got plastic surgery.
So Ali is like flipping out. What the hell? Turns around. Spear by Roman. 1, 2, 3. Roman retains. Ali did not become the WWE champion at Royal Rumble.
So what does that make Ali?
The heel.
To Roman's first title defense.
Speak into the microphone.
So what does that make Ali to Roman's first technical title defense?
The loser.
Uh-huh.
What?
What does everybody else that goes against Roman become?
Oh, I'm not saying that word. And he's not. He's not at all. And anyway, that type of match, that is not that kind of ending. he retained because he also had help from Kofi. He didn't become fodder, as you say.
He got
gotcha.
from his friends.
Yeah, he got by with a little help from his friends.
You still said it.
I said it, but that's not what it is. You were trying to get me to say it like it's some great thing for fucking Roman. Nick.
You had Ali, and you didn't incorporate like an Orlando Christopher run.
I was thinking about that, but it's shaky when he shows, so I wasn't guaranteeing he'd be
Here comes Miami.
right.
That or with the whole Cedric Alexander thing, if you put them two together with the whole...
You have the
Wild card
one
thing.
and only Baron Corbin. Fuck.
All right. Smitty did say fodder, though, so. And these have been sitting here for like 35 minutes.
Can't wait to drink these warm shots.
Why are you raising your beer when you have a shot glass?
Cheers, crackers.
Cheers, guys. You don't censor yourself any other time, but now you got to.
What did you give us? My nipples are hard.
The only whiskey that wasn't Kessler. It was some kind of bourbon.
All right, Nick. Baron Corbin becomes a 2-time Money in the Bank winner. I just realized you had the two people that could become 2-time Money in the Bank winners.
Tell
That's
me
what
you
I
have
was
him
saying. He had the
growing
best
his-
odds.
Tell me you have him growing his hair back.
He's going to grow it back before Money in the Bank. First of all, okay?
Hair club for men
Yeah.
worked.
Bosley Corbin.
I like it. That's the new we can retire Sharon. Well, we can still call Shayna Baszler Sharon Corbin, but now Baron's going to be Bosley Corbin.
Bosley Corbin.
So we can keep them both alive. I like that. That's a good one.
Go on.
Wait till his introductions now.
He's not only the president, he's also the hair club's favorite son.
Golden Gloves champion, Bosley recipient.
Bosley
Fighter
member
of
and
receding
president.
hairlines.
You thought my career was receding like my hairline. It's back, bitches!
You were wrong.
Did he really just shave his eyebrow to put it on his hairline?
All right, Nick.
Well, so after he grows his hair back, he's
That.
like that. He's going to win Money in the Bank. I can't talk. He's going to...
It's already better than Smitty.
Hashtag better than me.
He's going to give a low blow to Balor while Balor's trying to climb the ladder. Then he'll end up winning and picking up the briefcase. He's going to use that to his advantage, adding to the whole, shtick before he gets introduced. Golden Gloves champion, former Raw general manager, 2-time Money in the Bank winner, just to add to that. Really rubbing it in everybody's faces. Right now, he's kind of... yep, that's right. He's kind of involved with Drew McIntyre here and there. They've got a little bit of, I don't know if you'd call it a friendship or acquaintanceship.
Drew needs help with EC3.
Well, and he's going to get it. Drew, Sharon's going to be there for him and still building on that relationship. And
Oh, Sharon.
so he's going to be one of these wild...
Ace of spades.
He's got to take on BC3.
On D3.
That's a lot of missing hair.
There's going to be enough to go around, trust me. So he's
Put it on my balls, too.
Or do LeBron just take hair from his ass, put it on his forehead.
He's going to bounce between Raw and SmackDown like, one of these wild card guys. And
Hasn't decided which title he's going to take.
flaunting this Money in the Bank briefcase, maybe showing up if there's a title defense and, kind of coming up to the top of the stage and doing his little shimmy, and he's got the
Shimmy, shimmy,
briefcase
Cocoa
and-
Wood, listen to me now.
Line it up and take a
Yeah.
puff.
Bosley Corbin, bow!
Yeah, come down for commentary.
Yeah, none of it really matters. It's all kind of fodder, and I got to finish this, so.
You did that on purpose.
Oh, yeah.
You know he did.
And, eventually he's going to, really play off the whole Drew McIntyre friendship thing. With that, Drew's going to fight Seth at SummerSlam. So he's gonna, Drew's gonna have this talk with him, like, hey, stay out of my business. I've got your back, you got mine, but I know you got that briefcase, but stay the fuck out of my shit. This is between me and Seth at SummerSlam. Oh yeah, no problem. Come SummerSlam, Drew and Seth. Drew's gonna push real hard for the title, but then you're gonna see at the end, both men are down. Here comes Sharon with hair and all. Come down. Right.
Bosley.
With hair
Yep.
and
It's
all.
Bosley.
Hair and
Hair
all.
is swaying.
Seth's going to curb stomp Drew. And then I can see Bosley.
Sharon Baron Bosley.
right behind him, and he's going to give him the end of days, and then he's going to become the champion at SummerSlam, ending it all. And totally disrespecting Drew, totally disrespecting, everything that, any type of relationship that they've built before that. And, really cementing himself as one of the top heels of the last, 3, 4, 5 years.
Is it bad that I really do? I could see Baron winning this.
Yeah.
Well, that's
I can
the whole
too.
stick, though.
Yeah.
Like, it would add to, like Nick said, it would add to the whole introduction.
But and then cashing in and winning.
Yeah.
The fans hate Corbin.
We'll say he has legit heat.
And
Remember that one time you told me? Remember that
I
one
was
time
right.
I won $50?
I was right.
I
was wrong, but how quick did they take? I said that Baron Corbin. I bet these guys $50 that Baron Corbin would not touch a title in the entire year of, what was it, 2017?
And he won the
whatever it
U.S.
was, whatever it was. He ended up winning
20
the U.S.
In October. I made this bet in February. And in October, he won the United States title and then lost it pretty fast.
He lost it.
Doesn't matter.
He lost it in December. When
So-
he lost it when
I was
Ziggler
literally.
vacated.
You want to tell my story, or you? Just
I was like, he lost it in
He
December.
can't even tell his own story.
That's what I'm saying. Like he just wants to keep piping in.
No,
It doesn't matter what you're saying because I'm not talking about that.
You said,
but it
lost
doesn't matter.
It was
doesn't
related.
matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Just get yourself.
It can be related. Doesn't mean it matters.
It does not make sense. Chewbacca was.
I have family that I have family.
Fuck you. No, because I respect Peter Mayhew. Fuck you. Sorry. Peter Mayhew passed.
Escalated quickly.
Oh. Not
Yeah.
what I was going with.
Not at all is what he went with. But I lost $50 because I said Baron Corbin would not touch a title.
You lost $100.
$50 to whomever I bet. I think I bet more than one person.
You bet both of us.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I even bet Callie. So.
That was close.
No, but you won one bet and lost. I know you lost to me for sure because the minute you said he won't touch a title, I was like, oh, I'll take that bet.
Oh, and then
You
Baron
said
Corbin won the
anytime.
Money in the Bank that year, and everyone's like, "Oh," and we're like, they agreed
Yeah,
that
it
it
was
wasn't the Money in the Bank is not a title. It's just it's a chance at a title. And then he lost it, and I was like, "See, this motherfucker, nobody likes his ass."
Yeah, and you were looking good. And, then
And that's when he
I
had
always
hair.
look
And
good,
then
sir.
September ended.
Yeah, and then September ended.
I only took the bet for that he would take a title by the end of the year.
Yeah, everyone did. Yeah, I won something else with Z.
I think you said the Money in the
you
Bank
lost
cash
two
in.
things with me when it came to Corbin. I don't remember what.
No,
they
I
were.
won one of them.
He won one. He won the cash in thing with you.
Oh yeah, him cashing into. Okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Oh, but it was crazy that it's crazy that now in 2019, the heat that Baron was trying to be given in 2017 is absolutely fucking enormous.
Here's the thing, though. Baron Corbin has always been a really good heel on the microphone. As far as his in-ring work,
Yeah.
it's slowly gotten better.
He's Carmelo.
Don't get me wrong,
He's
but
Carmelo.
it's still not on par where I want it to be. But as far as heel on the microphone, he's up there.
Yeah.
But before we get off the air,
Yeah.
how is CM Punk not in the top 5 of the Money in the Bank?
Fuck. Okay, so
No, I didn't ask.
I just read it.
Why? Just because he won it twice?
Yeah. How does it not put him in the top
Only
5?
person that won it twice.
Because he doesn't have memorable performances in any of his matches.
But he won it twice.
That's because that's how it was
like
booked.
like Steve Austin had a great showing in the Royal Rumble. No, but he won it 3
No, and
fucking
I wouldn't
times.
consider Steve Austin like one of the greatest Royal Rumble participants.
But he won it 3 times.
Because it was booked that way. It doesn't mean he's fucking the best performer. If you're talking about who entertained me the most
I see your
during
point.
those matches, it wasn't CM fucking Punk.
I see your point, but in the way I look at it, like, okay, so you have 4,
He won twice.
4 of the best
He
performers,
was booked
and then
to
one
win
of
twice.
the guys that won it twice. Like, you can't win it twice. And
I'd
not
put
have
Punk in over
at least
Kane.
A good performance.
Yeah, I'd put him in over Kane. But, dude, I would change that whole top 5. I mean, dude.
What is your top 5?
Dude, you could put...
You said
Hardy.
Shawn
So,
Michaels.
okay, hold on.
Put
Wait,
the
wait,
Hardys,
stop,
Edge and Christian, Rob Van Dam, Chris Jericho, Chris Benoit,
Joe,
Eddie Guerrero.
Stop. So what this is all coming from is Z put a post in our group chat stating, because that WWE posted, correct, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it was
It was the 5
number
greatest.
Kane, the top. In the top.
Okay,
Edge
guys. The 5 greatest Money in the Bank competitors of all time. Number 5, Dolph Ziggler. Number 4, Daniel Bryan. Number 3, Randy Orton. Number 2, Kane. Number 1, Edge.
Honestly,
This is why
the only one I might put in there is Edge.
And where would you put him?
Who are the other
4
4?
or 5.
Okay.
What about
either
the
way,
other
who are
Hardys?
4?
What about the other Hardys? What about
I keep
Rob
Orton.
Van Dam, Chris Jericho, Eddie Guerrero, Chris Benoit? They've all entertained me more in ladder matches than
We're not- this-
some other-
no.
But we're not talking ladder magic. We're talking Money in the Bank.
Chris Jericho
Jericho should
invented
be
the
in
Money
there.
in the Bank.
I don't. Okay,
So
and,
he
and that's the one
entertained me
thing in
more.
the chat. I said I agree with you. I would put Jericho in the top
But
5 strictly
I would
because
keep
he's
Orton,
been in
too.
almost every one
I,
of them.
I would keep Orton too because Orton's been in a lot of them as well.
I mean, but my point.
What about
is,
the Hardys, the Dudleys, dude? Come on.
When
The
were
Dudleys-
the Dudleys
those
in
were
a
never
Money
in
in
the
the Bank
MITB.
ladder match? We're not going. We're not going.
We're talking ladder matches in general.
going
We're
I
talking
guess
about
I'm-
Money in the
I
Bank.
guess I'm thinking TLC for those
So,
ones.
Yeah,
20
because
okay.
you even said Shawn Michaels in the chat, and I was like, wait a minute, when has Shawn Michaels ever been in a Money
All
in
right,
the Bank
so the
match?
first Money in the
Hasn't
Bank.
he?
No,
here's
no,
so
never.
I'm gonna give you the competitors right now. First Money in the Bank match.
Shelton Benjamin in there.
Edge, Christian, Sheldon.
Yeah, actually,
All right, go ahead.
he's right about that.
Benoit, Jericho, Shelton Benjamin, Kane, Christian, and Edge. The next Money in the Bank ladder
There's
match.
more than that.
Nope, that was
I
it.
can
No,
think of,
the first one was 6.
I can think of 3 off
6-man.
that list that'd be in there
Okay,
before
can I?
CM Punk.
All right,
All right, sorry, Mike. Go ahead.
the next match: Rob Van Dam, Matt Hardy, Shelton Benjamin, Ric Flair, Finlay, Bobby Lashley. Next, Mr. Kennedy, Edge, Jeff Hardy, CM Punk, King Booker, Finlay, Matt Hardy, and Randy Orton.
That was in Detroit.
I was there.
WrestleMania 23.
No, it wasn't.
Up next.
Jeff
Yeah,
was in that one.
No.
up next.
Kennedy won it.
Oh, I said Jeff was in that one. Stop. Next, CM Punk, Mr. Kennedy, Chris Jericho, Shelton Benjamin, Carlito, John Morrison, and Montel Vontavious Porter.
That's the first of 2.
CM Punk,
It's
Christian,
second of 2.
Shelton Benjamin, Kane, Finlay, Montel Vontavious Porter, Kofi Kingston, and Mark Henry. The next one, Jack Swagger, Shelton Benjamin, Christian, Kane. The first one that I say is the winner. Christian, Kane, Matt Hardy, Drew McIntyre, Kofi Kingston, Evan Bourne, Montel Vontavious Porter, and Dolph Ziggler. Next, Kane, Christian, Matt Hardy, Big Show, Dolph Ziggler, Kofi, Drew, Cody Rhodes.
The following is out of the WrestleMania era and into.
Yeah, we've gone into the first pay-per-view in 2010. Miz, Orton, Jericho, Edge, Morrison, Evan Bourne, Ted DiBiase, Jr. and Mark Henry. Next one, Daniel Bryan, Wade Barrett, Kane, Cody Rhodes, Sheamus, Sin Cara, Justin Gabriel, and Heath Slater. Alberto Del Rio, Miz, Mysterio, Swagger, Truth, Kofi, Evan Bourne, Alex Riley. Dolph Ziggler, Cody, Sandow, Christian, Tyson Kidd, Sin Cara, Tensai, and Santino Marella. Cena, Jericho, Miz, Kane, and Big Show. It was a Money in the Bank championship.
Santino's ahead of CM Punk.
Oh, you're gotta be fucking kidding me.
I am.
Sandow, Cody Rhodes, Wade Barrett, Dean Ambrose, Jack Swagger, Fandango, Cesaro. Orton, Punk, Bryan, Christian, Sheamus, Rob Van Dam. Rollins, Kofi, Ziggler, Swagger, RVD, Ambrose. Sheamus, Ziggler, Kane, Kofi, Neville, Randy, Orton, and Reigns. Then Ambrose, Sami Zayn, Cesaro, Jericho, Owens, and Alberto Del Rio. And Corbin, Styles, Nakamura, Ziggler, Sami Zayn, and Kevin Owens. And then last year's is Strowman, Balor, Miz, Rusev, Bobby Roode, Kevin Owens, Kofi, and Joe.
All right, that's the case. Kofi should be on that list.
Yeah, and I'm talking to Joe. Sorry. All right. So, Shawn Michaels has never been in a Money in the Bank match, but we're not talking ladder match in general, because I mean I can think of 100 better ladder matches than a lot of.
I guess that's where but still I wouldn't put him on that list.
He's a 2-time winner.
He's been in 4.
Okay. Better yet, who would you put above him on that list?
See, when I'm thinking about stuff like this,
Money in the Bank, though.
I'm thinking about memorable performances.
But CM Punk won it twice, cashed in twice, and won the title twice. So I mean that's all got to contribute.
Was the face and heel,
right?
Was all booked that way. I'm talking about
every match is booked a certain
way. But I'm
way.
talking about who had the better, who entertained me the most, who did
Shelton Benjamin,
who had the best performances in these matches. Shelton Benjamin, Edge and Christian,
Smitty, let him talk.
Rob Van Dam. All these guys are better.
Edge is on the list.
Are better Money in the Bank match wrestlers than. Yeah,
what
he
has
won.
Shelton Benjamin done in the Money in the Bank match?
Something special every year, running up.
Every
the
time he's on there, he does something memorable.
He's got a point to where he's looking at it from an entertainment.
He used to have
He used
to have like Kofi Kingston type Royal Rumble moments in the Money in the Bank matches,
and he did. You're absolutely right.
But again,
right.
I'm gonna tell you this right now. You're telling me memorable. So what did you give me the memorable moment? The running of the ladder. I'm not asking you. This is your no. Yes, exactly. This is Joe's Money in the Bank competitor. So what the running? He ran up the ladder the one year.
He just always had spectacular performances every Money in the Bank match he was in. He was always
one of the highlights.
Almost stealing the show, quite frankly.
All right, so in the first Money in the Bank ladder match he was in, he hit the leg drop off of the top of the ladder. That was the one Edge won, the very first one at WrestleMania 21. He was all, and like I'm giving you the flip side of it too. He was also the one that ran up the ladder and got speared by Edge in the second one.
That's when Edge won it, right?
No, Edge
no, that's 21.
Edge won the first one.
Oh, okay.
That's
but
Hollywood.
He's also the one, like, he was the first one to do the spot where he literally, like, jogged up the ladder.
Jogged up
and then got,
T-bone.
Speared by Edge. So, not necessarily something spectacular. He did, but it was a good spot. I see Joe's point of who entertained you more, but I'm going off of, like, stats, just like Royal Rumble. Like,
you look success rate,
just
not
like
stats.
you said, hey,
if you're just doing stats, then yeah, if CM Punk's the only one that won twice. You win.
But he should be. But even as an entertainment value, like he should be top 5 regardless. Just because he won twice.
He's also participated more than most people.
Like, here's the thing: Sandow entertained the fuck out of me, but he doesn't make my top 5 list because he didn't win the fucking championship.
He was only in one. Well, he was only in one.
2 or 3.
No, he was in one, and then he didn't cash
if we're
in.
going off of how many times I've been in it, Dolph Ziggler and Chris Jericho should be 1 and 2.
Jericho's been in a bunch of them.
All of them except for the last like 2
so
or 3.
Kane's been in quite a few. Kobe's been in quite a few.
Up there. I mean,
that's case Kobe should be in there too because Kobe's been just about as much as Kane.
Not in the Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
No.
I guess I'm kind of old school in this thinking. I don't understand why they put guys like Kane and Mark Henry and Braun Strowman in Money in the Bank matches.
Just to make it seem like
you have a monster in a match. You gotta have a monster in a match.
In 7 of them before he actually won one.
I know that.
Just to kind of give you that disbelief.
And he was the albatross of each one.
Right, but they put monsters like that in there to make you believe that nobody else can win.
Well,
it's that's a
in all honesty,
psychology
guys like that take away from matches like that.
Plus,
they don't add to it; they take away.
Punk has 4 appearances in it. Ziggler has 6. Kane has 7. Jericho only has 5.
Only that's still a lot.
Kofi is in 7.
What's he in?
Christian's in 6 of them. Shelton Benjamin's in 5. Matt Hardy's in 4. Cody Rhodes is in 4. KO has been in 3. Finley's been in 3. That was the name that was popping.
Finley has entertained me tremendously in these matches.
I will agree with
I'm
that.
a big fan of Finn. I've always been a mark for him.
Yeah, Listen, he's a
I've
phys-
always been a
That I
fan.
may be a little biased there. He's awesome.
No,
I understand
yeah.
it. The physicality
Going
of
back to
Finley
the
and the
WCW
technicality.
days,
Finley's
absolutely.
like real.
Yeah.
He's old school wrestler.
Yeah.
The actual shillelagh.
Yeah, like Kofi Kingston and Kane have been in the most, and then
But I said
And
Christian-
Kofi's not on the list.
I
You know,
I
appreciate
said that though.
I appreciate Kofi in those matches way more than I do Kane. Just for
Kofi's a mandatory monster.
those matches to me are supposed to showcase athleticism, and Kane and Mark Henry are not doing that. Sorry.
And actually, Mikey, you messed up. Corbin won it in 15. Strowman won it in 17 or 18.
Yeah,
Monster
he won
in
it
the
last
Bank.
year.
Remember?
Puke.
I said 17. I said Corbin won in 17.
15.
No, he won it 17.
No,
Oh,
17.
my bad.
2015. that was Sheamus.
That was Sheamus.
You,
That was
you skipped one though. 'Cause
Sheamus cashed in on Roman.
You didn't say Braun.
The last
He
one
said
I
Braun.
said,
That was
I
the
said
last
Braun,
year.
Balor, Miz, Rusev, Bobby Roode,
Okay.
Owens, Kingston, and Joe.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
That's fine. And yes, Sandow won a one.
Yeah, he did. He screwed over Cody and then lost to Cena.
Yeah. Cena hit him with the AAA. All right, let's get the fuck out of here.
Okay.
That was intense.
Intensity in 10 cities.
So did we come to any kind of conclusion on that?
That you're looking at it differently than everyone else.
Yeah, you're looking
Yeah,
at
they
ladder
got two
matches, not
different
Money in the Bank.
I'm looking. Well, no, that's not true either. I'm looking at. I'm looking at entertainment value, not stats. I guess.
Well,
Well,
my,
you're not getting
my
the
only
match
thought
either.
is like entertainment value can take 4 spots, but the only guy to ever win it twice gets one of the top 5, whether it be 5-1. You know,
But I guess I don't look at wins and losses as being as important in like baseball or hockey because they're manufactured wins and losses.
So then, okay, well then now this takes me to a completely different question. Why would you care about AEW if wins and losses matter there then?
Because it's still about the product, and it's supposed to be a product that's sports based, athletic, and hopefully doesn't make me roll my fucking eyes.
I
every
understand that,
second
but
when I watch
if
it.
you're telling me that wins and losses don't matter for
No,
you
they
with the WWE
they
product,
do matter, but you still have to take them with a grain of salt. Like I don't want to watch fucking Cesaro getting beat every week and then try to take him seriously in one intercontinental match once every 6 months. That's not cool. Like I want to see the guys I like and that I feel like should be pushed. I want to see them win, but at the same time, like.
so if you liked Punk, would you rate him differently?
If he entertained me more, I would like him more.
I'm 100% on the bandwagon that CM Punk is the most overrated wrestler of all time.
I don't disagree,
Dude,
but he won the thing
the
twice,
second
so
he
he
started-
deserves
yeah.
to be like even
The
number
second
5.
he stepped foot in WWE, I thought he was overrated. He came with all this hype. I read all about him on the Dirts. Never seen. He was some huge indie darling star in Ring of Honor, and then I saw him in WWE ECW and.
Once again, that's
I'm like,
WWECW.
I'm like,
He
I'm
was
like, yeah,
very
but as he
underwhelming.
progressed, I'm like,
I'm a
this
CM
is it?
Punk fan.
This is it. This is it.
I'm a CM Punk fan. I'm not like overly like. Now here's the thing. With me, you talk bad about Shawn Michaels. We can go out in the parking lot. We can settle this. Talk bad about CM Punk. It is what it is. I get it. But my whole point is, when you're talking about the top 5 of anything, and you have a guy who's won more than anybody else, he's at least got to be number 5.
I say he's number 3, but
Whatever it may be, like you have a top 5 of something. The
He's
only
gotta be
guy
in there.
to
He's
ever
gotta
win
be
it
up there.
twice, predetermined or not, should at least be number 5. And the other 4 could be people that entertained you. Right? I
Dude,
mean,
fucking Braun Strowman's winning this year.
so he'll be
Didn't he
number
win
4.
last year?
He'll be number
That's
4.
why he's winning this year.
He'll be number 4.
Yeah, he's gonna win twice.
Strowman's gonna win this year.
He's gonna
so
just,
Zayn's
just
gonna
to
screw him.
fucking ruin your argument.
Zayn's going to screw him this
Just
year.
to fuck your argument all up. Braun Strowman's
Okay.
gonna win
Well,
twice.
then Strowman will be number 5,
just,
and
just to
Punk
screw
will be number
fucking
6.
Punk over.
Not even the argument, just for that. It's for Punk.
It's to
so
rip Punk.
Punk is not the
Which
only
will
two-time
make-
and only
yeah,
back-to-back
which will
winner.
make your argument another moot point.
Don't forget about Sharon.
So now we have 4
Corbin,
and 5.
yeah, Corbin would be
Braun
second.
Another
Strowman.
mute point.
It's not gonna be Corbin because if Braun Strowman
I mean, but
wins
do you
this year,
see my point?
I guess I do.
if Braun Strowman wins this year, he won 2 times and back to back. If Corbin wins, he just won 2 times.
Yeah, CM Punk's the only one to win it 2 times and back to back. at that.
CM Punk still has a
and-
record
and not
if
to
Strowman,
mention-
if Corbin wins this year.
Cashed
Let me tell
in.
you-
Hold on. No. See, if Braun wins, Punk still trumps him because Punk cashed in twice and won twice.
I'm actually
Yep.
not even arguing this because I'm agreeing with you. But the point of it is that if Braun wins this year, it's so WWE can say they have someone else. That's what it is. It's not.
I understand.
Yeah.
It's
It's
a
not.
total
It's not.
It's a shot at Punk.
The whole reason
whole
why
point.
AJ held the belt as long as he did. I mean, not that.
But Punk's
I
coming
would-
back in the Money in the Bank and he's costing Strowman the win. So really, that's what it is.
I think Zayn's going to cost Strowman to win.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for us. Thank you so much for listening. We really appreciate everybody that has watched us on our Periscope. Thank you to Brandy Lauren from calling in. She's going to be this weekend.
Brandy 3 belts.
Ultimo Brandy.
Ultimo Brandy. And when that gets coined as a T-shirt, I want a cut of the fucking money.
I just want a T-shirt.
Yeah, I guess I'll sell her. I guess I'll sell her for a T-shirt.
BDR gets the first snacks and T-shirts.
Nick, go on there and be like, BDR just said they all want a T-shirt. Here's our sizes. Thank you
What are
so
you
much,
waiting for, Nick?
Brandy Lauren, for calling in. Definitely appreciate it. Make sure you guys go check out Shine 58 in Livonia this Friday. And then following that, Evolve 127. Just same building, same place. 3 p.m. for Shine, 8 p.m. for Evolve. And then in the Indianapolis, Indiana area, you can see Evolve 128 going on Saturday. Adam Cole of the Undisputed Era, baby, will be in there. Cassius Ohno will be there. Brandy Lauren will be taking people on. It's going to be a whole bunch of stuff. Meet and greets with Adam Cole and Cassius Ohno as well. Definitely go check that out. etix.com or just go to wwn.com. And if you're not in any of those areas, again, you can go to Club
Is it
WWN.
WWN Live?
Maybe. WWNlive.com. Very good. Thank you, Joe.
No problem.
And then you guys can get etix.com and you can get yourself some tickets or go to Club WWN and definitely sign up for $9.99 a month and you can watch all of these events at your home. So thank you again so much for listening. Make sure you follow us on all of our fucking social media at BDRcast. And if anyone is watching on the Periscope and you see us live, remember it's right down there. Make sure you go to the Apple Podcast, wherever you get your podcast, minus Stitcher, Spotify. And
Put us on there. Until then, fuck y'all.
it's not on them. So make sure you download us. Make sure you rate us 5 stars. Subscribe. Go to our YouTube, Breaking Down the Ring. Subscribe, baby. We are out. We are your ring crew.
Brian, since we've used my legal name all night.
Nicholas?
Anthony.
The new fucking Joe. Or actually kind of the same old Joe, 4 beers and a shot later, so
It's like Billy Joe.
maybe. Call me when
No, the
So you
piano
didn't
man.
start-
call me when Money in the Bank ends.
You didn't start the fire?
No.
It wasn't always.
It was
burning.
always burning.
Since the world's been turning.
God, Thunder Kitty really does look old. And me, the almighty one, Mikey himself, we
Fuck y'all.
are
That's my legal name.
out.
Brandy.